Director General of Systems. Sir, warm welcome to you. And we have Dr. D.K. Agrawal, is Senior Vice President, PhD Chamber. Mr. Bimal Jain, Chairman, Indirect Tax Committee, PhD CCI. Mr. N.K. Gupta, Co-Chairman, Indirect Tax Committee, PhD CCI. And in the audience, we have a distinguished, our former President, distinguished guest, Mr. Gopal Jivraj. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed, I would like to give a brief introduction of Sri S.K.Rahman. S.K.Rahman is an IRS, and also he has done BE honors from BITS Pilani. He is presently Commissioner IT and Compliances, and he looks after IT matters of CBIC. He heads Sabka Vishwas scheme, all India basis. Additionally, he was Additional Director General of CBIC in earlier stint, and also member of Law Committee, IT Committee. He has got, he was an awarded President's Medal and also World Customs Organization Appreciation Certificate. Warm welcome to you, sir. A big round of applause. I would now request Dr. D.K. Agrawal, Senior Vice President, PhD Chamber, to give his welcome address, sir.
Thank you, Abhinav. Shri S.K.Rahman ji, Commissioner IT and Compliances, Director General of Systems, Mr. Bimal Jain, Chairman Indirect Tax Committee, PhD Chamber, Mr. N.K. Gupta, Co-Chairman Indirect Tax Committee, PhD Chamber, Mr. Gopal Jivraj, our past President, ladies and gentlemen. Well, very rare scheme, Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution 2019. I mean, we have seen many schemes, but in very few schemes, you see that even your tax liability is getting reduced, and that too substantially. It looks like this government, they mean business. You know, it's a very entrepreneurial approach. Let us focus on the new tax, that is GST. Let us focus on the collection of that, on making that as a good and simple tax. Whatever backlog is there were so many disputes, more than 1.5 lakh cases are pending, involving an amount of 3.75 lakh crore. These are pre-GST disputes related to central excise and service tax. And of course, there are other 22 enactments which have been subsumed in GST, even cases under those enactments. Such a huge amount, so many cases pending with various, some pending under appellate authorities, under High Court, Supreme Court. So the government has decided that let us decloak the system and focus on the real business. I think it is a very bold move. And the incentive offered is also almost 70% rebate on the taxes. I mean, this is a rebate on taxes. 100% waiver of penalties, 100% waiver of interest, and no prosecution. I think no amnesty scheme could have been better than this. Well, the scheme is out. Of course, they announced the scheme. The finance minister announced the scheme in the budget, but now it has been notified. There is a period of 4 months starting from 1st September and ending on 31st December. So sufficient time, and I'm sure that most of the dealers, they would also like to make their life easy. It is a big step on ease of doing business. So I feel that it should be given a very good response. And as a PhD Chamber of Commerce, I'm very happy that our chairman and co-chairman of Indirect Tax Committee are very, very active, very proactive, I'll say. And they are the first to organize such a meeting and the kind of awareness they are creating, I am sure that will really help the industry. Well, I have noted a few observations about this. Of course, the scheme, as I said, that it waives the tax amount up to 70% if the tax amount is less than 50 lakh rupees. And if it is more than 50 lakh, the tax waiver is 50%. However, in case where the tax dues are recoverable as arrears, the waiver is 60% if the amount is below 50 lakh and 40% if the amount is above 50 lakh. If there is a voluntary declaration, then there is no waiver on the tax amount. There is a waiver on interest, penalty, and prosecution. Well, there are certain restrictions of the scheme also. You cannot adjust, like whatever tax is to be paid, you cannot adjust it through your input tax credit account. Also, tax dues paid cannot be claimed as input tax. And thirdly, you cannot, taking advantage of that 70% or 50%, you cannot claim any tax refund. I mean, a lot of questions were raised that, oh, then I would be getting the tax refund, but that it is very clear that no tax refund will be made under this scheme. Well, it is a very good scheme, and I'm sure a lot of dealers whose cases are very weak or who has even 50% chances of succeeding in their appeal, I'm sure they should go for this scheme without any doubt. Where they have a very strong legal point, where they believe that there is legally they are very strong and there is no liability, only those dealers can look to avoid this very lucrative scheme. But to buy peace, I will say the industry should go for this scheme. And it is not a question whether your liability is not there or not. You avoid that kind of dispute, you avoid that kind of, that hassle of going to the court, hiring lawyers, hiring Bimal Jain. So friends, let us give a full support to this scheme, and I would request Mr. Bimal Jain to organize more and more of such programs to create awareness about this. And I am sure that if more awareness is created and if this scheme is managed well, even by the government, this scheme will become very successful. With this, I end here and again welcoming you to today's program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. Bimal Jain, Chairman in Directors Committee, to give his theme and technical presentation on this scheme. Sir.
Sri S.K.Rahman ji, I request each participants and those who are watching this program through webinar Pan-India and those who are watching this Facebook Live, I must say that Sri Rahman is a dynamic and active government officer. He is doing everything possible, I must say, everything possible to see success of this particular scheme. Request each one of you to give him a big round of applause. Our Senior Vice President going to be President of PSG Chamber of Commerce. Sir, I've seen that transition. Now you're also becoming an indirect tax expert. Some of the points you have already conveyed, which I wanted that I should deliberate in my presentation. But nevertheless, this is what we are proactive all about. My friend, co-chair Sri Gupta ji, Mr. Narayan, and past President Sri Gopal ji, and all distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to all of you. Okay. Let me start today my presentation theme and technical both. Sir, what I will do in my theme presentation and technical presentation, I will raise the concern wherever the problem exists today. And these are the concerns. I know that you're sitting here today to take a note of it, and wherever you have answer, you will answer those queries. In case something which is to be amended or corrected, definitely you will take our voice and try to do best for the trade, industry and commerce. Having said that, let's start. This scheme is being launched by Honorable Finance Minister in the context of the 3.75 lakh crore rupees held up into litigation, and there are around 1.5 lakh cases. So government is willing to unlock this money as one-time measure, dispute resolution cum amnesty scheme. What is the dispute resolution? Whatever past legacy cases they want to resolve, and amnesty to those that you would be given the tax relief alongside interest, penalty and prosecution. The scheme is open from 1st September 2019, will continue till 31st December 2019, time period 4 months. So this is from indirect tax perspective. First, we must make a note of it. The scheme is for indirect taxes, not for direct taxes. What all taxes are being covered? Central excise duty, service tax, and number of cess, sugar cess, salt cess, spices cess, around 22 cess covered under various cess at central. So what is not covered? Important one, custom duty. NCCD is not covered. VAT is not covered. Sale tax is not covered. Central sale tax is not covered. Entertainment tax, luxury tax, octroi, these are not covered. But there is one specific provision, and that may come only from central taxes perspective, not from state taxes perspective. They may add by way of notification. Maybe down the line they may add some other cess also by way of notification. So what is covered and what is not covered? What is the relief and why we should go for this particular scheme? I'm going to highlight some important parameters. If you want to go for this scheme, the best advantage would be there is tax relief to the extent of 70% of your tax dues, depending on the category and the tax dues, except voluntary disclosure. Here you have to pay 100% tax dues, but what is the benefit? Then going further, no interest, no penalty, and no prosecution. And there will not be reopening. I'm repeating this thing once again. There will not be reopening of the matter and time period covered under this scheme. This is the biggest advantage. So having said relief, now the important who are eligible, who can go for this particular scheme, and who are not eligible. They are called ineligible. So in eligible, there are 5 categories, 5 cases are being covered. So I'm picking up those cases as if initially there is inquiry, investigation and audit, followed by so-called notice, then adjudication and appeal, and then you got voluntary disclosures. So 5 categories, starting with the first one. If there is any inquiry or investigation or audit pending as on 30th June 2019, this date is very sacrosanct, 30th June 2019. An amount is quantified under such inquiry, investigation or audit on or before 30th June 2019, then you are an eligible person. So what is inquiry or investigation or audit? Inquiry and investigation as defined in the Act, because relevant provisions are being given under section 122 to 135 Finance Bill number 2 2019 Act. Inquiry and investigation cover 4 specific cases. If summons has been issued, or you are required to produce books of accounts, or there is search of the premises, or statement is being taken by the department. These are the four specific cases. Then what is the audit? Audit means any scrutiny, check or verification. Term used scrutiny, check or verification of data or information other than inquiry and investigation under indirect tax enactment, and where audit is initiated by way of written documentation by Central Excise Officer. Written. Now my first observation. So this particular provision says amount must be quantified. Generally, I've seen, sir, whenever investigation inquiry started or audit started, inquiry investigation by DGGI or DGCI in erstwhile regime, generally I'm saying we never used to get any documentation from department side saying that this is the amount I'm supposed to pay, quantified. In audit, we supposed to get LAR, but that too there is a time gap, big time gap. I'm giving one good food for thought. Since Honorable Finance Minister is looking for unlocking 3.75 lakh crore rupees, if department has already initiated inquiry and investigation, and they are firm that this much would be the amount because they have recorded the statement, they are convinced that this is the amount supposed to be paid, why can't, as one-time measure, they issue the documentation, statement, which is quantifying before 30th June 2019. So satisfying your provision. And once this letter is being issued by such officer, which they are aware of, then what happens? Those taxpayers willing to come forward, they will come forward and pay the money under the scheme. So you got safety because the department is going to issue such letter. Only thing they have to issue on or before 30th June 2019. If this quantification is not being done for any region, then he is falling into ineligible category. So taxpayer is being barred and you are not getting money collected for which you are looking for. Maybe you can see inside, you can discuss within the department. Since department initiated inquiry and investigation, they must be knowing the figures to be quantified. This is the first point I'm making. Coming to the second point. If any so-called notice is being issued, or one or more appeal arising out of such so-called notice, and which is pending as on 30th June 2019, and no final PH has taken place on or before 30th June 2019. Now this condition of no final PH has taken place. Let me tell you, sir, at the adjudication level and the first appellate authority commissioner appeal, what we have seen in the trade, that note sheet is quite mechanical, that your reply is being reiterated at the time of hearing. But we were not given any certainty and clarity that this is the final PH. Sometimes note sheet contain that certain documentation required from the SSC, some information required from the SSC. Am I supposed to assume that this final PH is being done? To my mind, if there is any want of information or documentation, then no final PH is being done. Second case, I have appeared before Mr. A. He got transferred. Can I say final PH is being done? To my mind, no, because they issue a fresh so-called notice. Normally, this is what I've seen. Even at commissioner appeal level, sometime my note sheet contained that this documentation required. So what happened? This final PH, as being stated, at adjudication level and the first commissioner appeal level, we normally don't get certainty that my final hearing is being done and order is being reserved. Normally from SESCAT onwards, we get little clarity that my final PH is being done and order is reserved. So what happened? Lot many cases piling up at adjudication level and at first appeal authority level, where final PH is a subjective term. Maybe you can look into why we are creating this final PH. When we are looking for unlocking litigation cases, why we are putting this final PH? Even if it is done, and I'm willing to come forward. Allow me. First point I'm making, second point, sir. And I'm creating some important point here. Provision says that one or more appeal arising out of such so-called notice pending on 30th June. What happened if some order is being passed on 27 June 2019 and I have not filed appeal? Can I say my appeal is pending? I can't say. So are you not going to allow me? I'm saying within the law, there are certain open nook and corners not creating synergy. That's what I have done my final PH. I do not know whether that was final PH on 1st January 2019. Did not get any order till 30th June. Only on 1st July I am getting order. So I'm only saying why we are keeping such final PH terms, and then within the appeal provision, appeal which is pending, creating third case before yourself. Let's say I filed my appeal and which is pending on 30th June 2019. My appeal is pending before SESTAT. And I know I have got some weak case, but still I want to try out. So what I will do, I will argue before SESTAT, and let's assume I lose a case. Still that would be open for me to go for scheme. Because in 30th June my appeal was pending. Is it the intention we are looking within the provision? To my mind, no. To my mind, no. So we have to look at the provision where synergy must come out. Coming to the third point. If so-called notice is being issued for late fees and penalty, I'm using the term late fees and penalty, pending as on 30th June 2019, and no final PH has taken place on or before 30th June 2019. Now within this provision, the first highlighted point, what happened if so-called notice is being issued only for interest? It is not allowed as per the law. And there may be a case you have paid the tax amount, so-called notice only mean for interest amount. You can't go for it. What happened if you got so-called notice for interest and penalty both together? You are allowed. Are you getting my point? So-called notice only for interest, not allowed. But got interest and penalty both, it is. And both interest and penalty waive off. I'm just leaving it to you. I know that I've heard you in the past also, but I'm putting this point, maybe some correction, because ultimately objective is
like interest plus penalty is not allowed.
Okay.
There is no tax amount involved.
Maybe I paid that. Oh, all right. Coming to the fourth point. Sir, I will also touch base. We will do some open discussion. Rest assured, those who are participating here and those who are participating through webinar and Facebook Live, they are free to post their queries. I got certain open issues also, which I will raise one after another. But let me proceed further. The fourth category, when any amount is recoverable as amount in arrear because of order in original or order in appeal. So there are three specific cases covered in amount in arrear when no appeal is being filed against order in original or order in appeal before expiry of stipulated time period for appeal to be filed. Second case, order in appeal got certainty, attained finality. It is amount in arrear. And last one, this is important, you must capture this point. Declarant has filed the return under indirect tax enactment, admitted the liability but not paid it. This is called amount in arrear. Now the last category, sir, The point which I want to draw your attention, declarant has filed the return under indirect tax enactment, admitted the liability but not paid it, is an amount in area. Just proceeding further, then I will connect this issue with a voluntary disclosure as well. There is nothing like inquiry, investigation, audit, so-called notice, appeal. You can come voluntarily also, allowed. But only two restrictions are being placed under this category. If you're subject to inquiry, investigation and audit, you're not allowed. But second point, if you have filed the return and shown as amount payable, which was admitted when I was discussing amount in area, and but not paid it. So this provision little creating confusion. I'm allowed under amount in area, but I'm not allowed under voluntary disclosure. Hope you are getting my point. Now, when I'm saying voluntary disclosures, these are the points which I have drawn for eligible categories. I got certain open issues which I will take at the end of my presentation, coming to the point who are ineligible. They can't go for the scheme. There are 8 specific cases covered. They can't go for this particular scheme. They can't go for it. The first one. If so-called notice is being issued pending as on 30th June, and if final PH is being done on or before 30th June 2019, then you are not eligible. And which I have raised the concerns. Second, if so-called notice is being issued for erroneous refund or refund amount. Normally, erroneous refund and refund amount, such so-called notice put under Colco. Is it not amount in areas? There may be second thought process, this is amount in areas. Maybe fitting into amount in area for eligible categories. Third, if any appeal which is pending as on 30th June, but final PS is being done on or before 30th June, you are not eligible. If you have been convicted for any offence under Central Excise Act, you are not eligible. If you have gone for before Settlement Commission, you are not eligible. Under inquiry, investigation and audit, I have already said that amount must be quantified. If it is not quantified, you are not eligible. In voluntary disclosures, there is a bar. If you are subject to inquiry, investigation or audit, or you have filed your return under indirect tax enactment, shown as a payable but not paid it, you are not eligible. Or your product is following the 4th schedule of Central Excise Act 1944, which is tobacco and petroleum product. So these are the categories which are ineligible. Coming to the next component, tax relief. What is the advantage? What is the benefit you will get as a declarant? So I say the 5 categories, I am starting with all 5 categories one after another. If this is a case of inquiry, investigation or audit pending as on 30th June, an amount is quantified on or before 30th June 2019 and your case is less than equal to 50 lakh rupees, then the tax relief would be 70%. So you have to pay tax only to the extent of 30%, am I right? Along with interest, penalty, prosecution, no reopening. Just look at the advantage we are going to have. If it is more than 50 lakh, 50% is the tax relief. So what happens if we 50% the tax relief, 1 crore is the tax due, then how much you need to pay? 50 lakh rupees. No interest, no penalty, no prosecution, no reopening. Look at the advantage. If it is a case of so-called notice or one or more appeal arising out of it, which is pending as on 30th June, and no final PH is being done, same this ratio will apply, meaning thereby if it is less than 50 lakh or equal to 50 lakh, 70% tax relief, 30% of tax dues to be paid. If it is more than 50 lakh, 50% the tax relief and 50% to be paid. If it is so-called notice only for late fees and penalty, nothing to be paid. Complete waiver of your late fees and penalty. In the case of a mountain area, and I've said what is falling into a mountain area, there's a change in this ratio. If it is less than equal to 50 lakh rupees, then 60% is the tax relief, 40% to be paid. If it is more than 50 lakh, it is 40% tax relief, 60% to be paid. And voluntary disclosure, let's say you're disclosing 1 crore rupees, you have to pay 100% of tax dues. Only waiver of interest, penalty and prosecution. This is called tax relief. Now, just touching base, what is tax dues then? You'll be thinking, what is tax dues? So let's say 100 rupees is being released in a so-called notice with 10 rupees penalty. So 100 rupees tax demand and 10 rupees is the penalty. So tax dues would be 100 rupees. Second case, your so-called notice got adjudicated and it is adjudicated as 90 rupees for tax dues and penalty reduced from 10 to 9. Then tax dues would be 90 rupees. Now in appeal, both taxpayer has gone in appeal for 90 and department has gone in appeal for 10, then tax dues would be 90 plus 10, 100 rupees. And wherever amount shown jointly and severally liable, the amount which is jointly and severally liable, that would be the tax dues. Now having said, that's an important point. How you will pay your tax dues? Let's say that 100 rupees you want to declare. And when I'm saying 100 rupees, it is a case of less than 50 lakh rupees. So 30% you need to pay apart from a mountain area, so 30 rupees need to be paid. But let's say you have done pre-deposit when you have gone for appellate authority, and let's say you have paid 15 rupees, or you have deposited this amount under inquiry investigation, 15 rupees, then you have to pay net amount 30 minus 15 rupees, net 15 to be paid. There's a confusion in the trade that this deposit and pre-deposit to be deducted from the basic tax dues or after calculating that percentage which I say. But there is one rider. If you have paid pre-deposit and deposit less than 40 rupees as against 15 rupees in the same example, and you have to pay only 30 rupees, then 10 rupees you have paid excess, no refund. No refund permissible. Third, if wrongly you have made the mistake, as against 100 you have made it 200, it's your mistake, and calculated 30% and pay the wrong taxes, and then you wake up and say, sir, wrongly I have done that. No choice left. Taxes paid means paid. No refund permissible. You have to pay compulsorily in cash. You can't use your credit account. Neither you can take this credit either as a supplier or as a recipient. Pay in cash, nor you can take credit neither as a supplier nor as a recipient. Now, what is the procedure need to be followed? Let me complete procedure, then I will touch base all open issues in the scheme for kind consideration of Rahman sir. Procedure says, if you want to declare the liability, you have to file one online form. There is nothing like manual intervention. So this is laudable one. They have made it online, no manual interface. You have to file SVLDRS, and SVLDRS stand for Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme 1. You have to file SBL DRS 1. Once you submit, there is a designated committee who will verify your form, and if they are satisfied, they are going to issue a statement. They will say, okay, Bimal, you have declared 100 rupees. I am agreeing to 100 rupees. They will issue a statement which is in the form SBL DRS 3. So once this statement period prescribed is 60 days from the date of declaration. 60 days. So the designated committee has to issue this statement within 60 days from date of my declaration. And once this SBL DRS 3 is being issued, we have to make payment within 30 days. And once I make my payment, then department going to issue me a discharge certificate, which is called SBL DRS 4. And that too within 30 days on submission of proof of my payment. And it is all happening online, no manual intervention. Once you declare the liability, statement is being issued, challan to be created from the dedicated window. So department is aware of everything. It's a two-phase. One window can be viewed by the taxpayer, another window can be viewed by the designated committee. So it's going online, automated, real-time basis. So there is no loss of manual timing. Next case would be maybe you have declared 100 rupees, but designated committee say no, it is 120 rupees. Maybe a case. Maybe a case. Then what happened in such case? You will file SBL DRS 1, and wherever designated committee disagreement with you, they are going to issue SBL DRS 2. And they will give you the opportunity to present your case. You can go and appear before the designated committee and make out your case. And once they are satisfied, but within the time frame, they will issue SBL DRS 3, which is called issuing a statement for the tax payable. Then again you have to pay within 30 days. Pay within 30 days, discharge certificate to be issued in SBL DRS 4. This is what being stated, but two important points here. If my case is pending at so-called notice level, or adjudication level, or first appellate authority level, or SESTAT level, and you are going for this particular scheme, then it shall be deemed that you have withdrawn such cases. Word use shall be deemed. Only when your case is pending before Honorable High Court and Supreme Court. You have to move an application before the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court for withdrawing that writ petition, reference or application. So you have to really get certificate from the High Court and Supreme Court and submit before the designated committee, and time period again 30 days. That may be one alarming factor, because getting certificate from the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court may take time. Maybe this relaxation of 30 days would be required. What happens if I'm not getting this certificate? Another case, if you're not paying within 30 days, what happens? Your declaration shall be deemed as lapsed. Now, I have given a snapshot and overview. We got many queries around. So we got certain queries which I have already piled up, which I'm going to present here. But those who are watching Pan India through webinar and Facebook, they are free to post their queries. Those questions will come. And Rahman sir is sitting with us, and we are going to have open house. Here also you can raise your concern and queries. Let me raise the concern and queries which I have jotted down already and raising now. Sir, my first point pertaining to main notice versus co-notice. Sir, my first question is, if so-called notice is being issued to main notice and there's a penalty levied on co-notice, maybe managing director or the person who is in charge of. As per the provision, co-notice can go independently whether the main notice is going for the scheme or not. There is no bar. But as per the circular issued on 27th of August 2019, main notice has to go for the scheme, then only co-notice can go. Why such condition? It is not coming out from the act or rules. So in the beginning, by way of circular, we are creating contrary provision. I am a co-notice managing director. Penalty levied on me. And so-called notice issued for late fees and penalty, I am eligible. Why I need to be dependent on the main notice? This is the first point. What happens if main notice is not going for it? So this is the case which I am drawing your attention. Second, I got so-called notice issued, and my so-called notice is having two subject matters, sir. One subject matter settled by the Honorable Supreme Court judgment, even though so-called notice got issued. And another is a disputed one for which I am willing to go. I want to go for it. Now the point will come, can I go selectively only for the subject matter which is disputed, or I need to go for both the subject matter in the so-called notice? What this circular is saying, I have to go for both the issues. Why I will go for a particular matter which is already being settled by Supreme Court? The second subject matter. Third subject matter, sir. What happened if period of filing, see order being issued on 27 June 2019, I am allowed to file my appeal within the stipulated time period, but period of filing expires after 30th June 2019.
Within the appeal period.
Within the appeal period. Or there may be a case, it is my period that got expired, but it is expiring only after 30th June 2019. Am I eligible? Coming to the fourth case, and this is the biggest one which I discussed when we were sitting together having a cup of tea in the visiting room, very interesting one. Let's say you have collected some amount as excise duty and service tax. But that is not excise duty and service tax. You have wrongly collected. Can you keep it to your pocket? As a provision, we can't keep it to our pocket. And it is recoverable under Section 11D of Central Excise Act 1944, 73 of Finance Act 1994. Now question comes, if so-called notice is being issued for recovery of this amount, which is collected as the excise duty and service tax, but it is not excise duty and service tax, but so-called notice is being issued. So what happened? Can I go for it? As per the law, I don't see any bar therein. So there's a point of unjust enrichment. I cannot be duly benefited for an amount which is not excise duty and service tax. I can't collect also. But if so-called notice is being issued and there is no bar in the provision, maybe I'm giving food for thought, sir, for you, that maybe such correction in the law itself required. Now, if you compare this provision with voluntary disclosures, let's say I am a person, I have wrongly collected, no so-called notice is being issued, I'm willing to go for it. What happens? See the comparison. If voluntary disclosure, I have to pay 100% tax dues. But so-called notice issued, then that would be with a tax relief, having disparity. Whereas for this provision, no benefit should be given even to the taxpayer who are being issued with the so-called notice. I am just voicing for government. If you are saying so, that voluntary disclosure, they are not supposed to get any tax relief, my only humble submission, sir. We have targeted 3.75 lakh crore rupees. We are trying to unlock this money. We have seen the success ratio of government from SISTET onwards is around 15 to 20% success ratio. Now, having said that, what we have to really understand and what I'm pitching for it, and I'm saying voluntary disclosures are for such taxpayer, they are in the system. And this is one-time amnesty scheme. Government want to done away with all legacy past cases. If he is coming forward and he's willing to pay off the liability, And he's not being allowed any tax relief comparing the other category where tax relief is being given. Maybe we can look into some kind of motivation, I'm saying. Some kind of motivation. Yeah. Maybe I'm saying, what I'm saying, sir, only for the tax relief, but otherwise interest, penalty, prosecution, same provision exists. Maybe we can look at this provision as well, because we are finding lot many provision existing today where we need to do certain freezing part. Now coming to the next point, sir. If my order is pending for review as on 30th June 2019, or it is before revision authority, I said my case is pending before appellate forum. So appellate forum is Commissioner Appeal, CESTAT, High Court and Supreme Court. Whether revision authority is also included within the definition of appellate forum, as per law, no. So are we not going to give the benefit to those under revision authority? Maybe you can say it is not available to them.
Only drawback and baggage effect, things go there.
Okay.
So those are not covered.
For that region.
Because drawback means it's almost covering the refunds, and refunds we have kept it over.
Okay. Okay. Now, sir, next point, which is for final PH once again. I have done my personal hearing on 1st January 2019, and I have also requested to the concerned officer for giving me further PH. And incidentally, it is before 30th June 2019. Can you say that final PH is not being done? So I'm saying that there may be such cases. But now what happened? These cases are going to be adjudicated only after 30th June. Coming to the next point, so there is a recent instruction issued on 22nd August, revenue appeal. With the revenue appeal is also because revenue has gone against me, and limit is increased to 50 lakh CESTAT, 1 crore High Court, 2 crore Supreme Court. What happened to such revenue appeal? Are they going to withdraw such cases? Because then I want to relieve of such litigation as a taxpayer. So maybe this instruction, government has to act on it so that taxpayers get clarity and certainty to done away with the legacy of cases. Coming to next few points, sir. Where redemption fine is being levied and so-called notice is being issued for redemption fine, that can happen under central excise as well. Whether eligible?
No.
So maybe those points are coming back. If sir SLP pending, and this is a very good point I'm making before you, let's say I filed my writ petition SLP pending before High Court as on 30th June 2019. Pending. It got dismissed against me after 30th June 2019. Can I go for the scheme? As per law, you can't bar me. So I'm getting added advantage. Try out a case. If losing out the case, I will go for the scheme. Whereas such benefits should not be given. Coming to, there's no provision of no disclosure. Like I'm coming as a declarant, filing declaration, I did not come across any provision which says so that such information which is being declared by declarant will not be shared with any other department. So I'm a little fearful about it. I want to be, now at this point of time, I want to come forward. I will not say I'm honest or I'm dishonest. I'm saying that if I declared in this particular scheme, this information should not be shared with other department.
That means you want to qualify.
I'm just looking from your side. And there is no sunset clause as well, because this time period is 1st September to 31st December. To me, what we are advising to the trade members, that you should not delay the process. Of course, you can look at your working capital cash flow statement for making the cash payment when you're going to declare it, and you have to make payment within 30 days. Otherwise, your declaration will be lapsed. You must work out your working capital scenario, but it is highly advisable that you must work out such calculation at an early date. What happened when scheme reaching a nearby end? there may be lot many applications. And let's say if designated committee does not agree with the amount declared by you and you need to satisfy them, you need to have some time in your hand to present your case. Coming to the full and final closure. The provision said full and final closure. Now in this full and final closure, okay, just one more point, all right. Okay. If once discharge certificate is being issued, then you are being relieved of complete immunity, no interest, no penalty, no prosecution, no reopening of the case, of the matter and period, but with the rider. In voluntary disclosures, they have 1 year time period. They can reopen your case in case false declaration is being made. Only in case of voluntary disclosures. No reopening of the subject matter and period, well said, but any other matter or different period can be, so-called notice can be issued. So there is no precedent. Whatever we are going to declare, this is only for this particular scheme. That is not going to create any precedent either for the past, present or future. Only for the matter and period covered. So what happened in the initial 35-40 minutes, I've given the overview, raised open issues before you, and one more last question, and then I will finish my presentation. So we have also handled service tax VCS scheme. And service tax VCS scheme, you got installment payment. What happened? My case is pending before SESTAT for VCS matter. My case is pending before SESTAT for VCS matter where I have not paid one installment, 50%. Is it going to be covered here? If it is covered, then look at tax relief. As against 50, I will pay. So one amnesty to another amnesty. Are you getting my point or not? So maybe you can clarify whether such amnesty multiplication possible or not possible. I'm reading the law. From the law perspective, it is pending before SESTAT. I'm fitting into the criteria. Then tax relief would be allowed to me if it is less than or equal to 50 lakh rupees. So having said that, now what we can do, we will request S.K.Rahman sir to make his brief presentation, and he got 3-minute good video which is being made on Sabka Vishwas legacy dispute resolution scheme. So believe me, those who are present here, they are benefited. The kind of, training session we are doing today, hand-holding we are doing for Sabka Vishwas legacy dispute resolution scheme. The scheme is one time because government want to done away with all legacy cases. And they are coming forward with lot of benefit available to us. Though it may be argued, it is going, may be argued, I say may be argued because honest taxpayer may come forward and say, this is going contrary to us. But since government is coming forward and we believe in Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So let's take this opportunity and done away with all legacy cases and dispute resolution. Make it happen. Why to carry on with the litigation? Maybe you have to go back in your company and check out your all so-called notices. One only case study, sir. Being tax consultant, advocate, this scheme is going to take away our business. But still I am advocating, we must go for it. And let me tell you...
This is also one of the cases you are getting.
Sir, I'm giving you one example. One client came up to me, and I'm telling you the true story. He got some dispute with the department on works contract services. Department say you have to pay service tax on 40%. He has taken 70% as abatement, paid on 30%. Department has issued a so-called notice. And we were advocating before the authority, sir, it is 40%, and department is not agreeing to us. So-called notice got issued. Fortunately, it was issued prior to 30th June 2000. What happened if it is issued after 30th June? Fortunately for him, he got so-called notice prior to 30th June 2019. And this fellow has paid some amount as a deposit at the time of audit. Now he has given this case for reply, for drafting a reply to the so-called notice. When I heard this particular scheme, I invited him, boss, come, please come to the office. Whatever you have paid got settled now. Now you need not require to pay any interest, penalty, prosecution, and no reopening. Maybe similar case lies in your company as well. I've given my instant case just to highlight, maybe we have not given a thought to it. With today's this seminar, GST conclave, you may go back and check what all cases you can fit in. You can come out from all legacy cases. So thanks for listening to me so patiently. Requesting Rahman sir to now come forward, take charge, and then after your presentation, we will start open house discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sri D.K. Agarwal ji, Sri Gopal ji, Sri Bimal Jain, Sri N.K. Gupta ji, and all the members of PhD Chamber of Commerce, and all the people who are logged onto Facebook and many channels who are watching this program. A very good evening to all of you. This hall and this PhD Chamber is not new to me. Maybe I do not know, third or fourth time I am coming here. Earlier occasions, I have come for GST aspects as DG GST Additional Director General. I come here. Today I am here on behalf of SVLDRS, Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme, to clarify you what are the queries or issues that you had in mind. Thank you once again many times to PhD Chamber of Commerce for giving an opportunity for a government official to interact with leaders of the industry, trade, and all the people. I'll quickly run through the presentation because some of the issues are already covered, but a few slides are important. I thought I'll just show it to you before I take up the issues that are raised by Sri Bimal Jain. Objective of the scheme is basically to ensure that your old baggage is put off for Central Exchange Service Tax so that you have peace of mind to take on GST, because you're already 2-year-old in GST. So we want to give some relief on Central Exchange Service Tax. We also want to give you a last opportunity, believe me, last opportunity on voluntary disclosure with respect to Central Exchange Service Tax. If some amount is not paid, it's the last time that government is inviting. Take a chance, government is coming 2 steps forward for waiving of penalty. If you are not paid a tax, equivalent amount of penalty of the tax amount we are supposed to pay along with interest, government is coming forward to waive the penalty, interest, fee, all those. So I think this is the last time that such an opportunity is coming. With these 3 objectives, we have made the introduction of the scheme, and you are aware it's a flagship program of the government. I was in the GST, I have been called to head this program. I'm looking after this program on all India basis. Hopefully, the government is very, very eagerly looking forward to you to hold your hand. And types of disputes covered already there, very clear. This booklet I have found it very, very useful. I feel this booklet you can download on your mobile or on your laptop and use it. I'm not just going to get into it. I want you to just focus upon 2 definitions: amount in arrears, up to appellate forum also. Not eligible to make declaration, you are aware. Sri Bimal Jain ji has already clarified it to you. At this slide, I would like to show you particularly about when the show cause notice is issued. You have received it. That has to be received prior to 30th June when he was telling saying the show cause notice was issued. The aspect is that you should have received it before 30th June. Further, I would like to focus for you to cover it to the 5th aspect. If you are saying 5th bullet, which says adjudication is order passed, due date of appeal not expired, whether you have filed appeal or not. If you have not filed appeal, it is not covered. Even if you have decided to not to file an appeal, I'm sorry, it's not covered. Why is a different aspect, but the decision that is taken is if you are within the appeal period, the scheme does not cover for you. Rest of the things are tax unknown to you. Tax dues, particularly I wanted to focus with respect to this discussion also, audit. When it says audit, says that written communication should have been received. Even if I send a simple letter saying that I am initiating the audit to you, I would like to have the following documents. That means audit has been initiated. Whereas the word quantified, as he has mentioned, is used with respect to only investigation. So the quantum of tax should have been quantified, and quantified amount should have been communicated to you, and you should have received it prior to 30th June. I would like you to just have a look at that definition in section 123 once again. Then benefits, they have already explained to you, 70% and 50%. If it is show cause notice, appeals, or if it is investigation, and all these cases, and if it is arrears, including the where you have filed the return and not paid, it is 60%. And if it's just a show cause notice only with late fee and penalty, then it is no tax amount is 100% waiver is given. And voluntary disclosure, we have said entire amount has to pay. We have waived only for the penalty, interest, and other things. And voluntary disclosure we have made is also mentioned, saying that within 1 year, in case something is required, that will be asked for, and we will look into it. Otherwise, there is no further investigation that is going to be conducted on voluntary disclosure. The very fact that we have shown you as Sabka Vishwas, saying that it is basically to instill confidence in you that the government is looking at you with a lot of Vishwas, and which I was sharing with other departments, I come to you and explain. Generally, it is not done. Nowadays, Supreme Court directions are there. Even if you give Aadhaar number, I am not supposed to share with others. The preconditions are very clear that have been explained to you, and the restrictions of the scheme are also very well explained to you. You can't use it for ITC taking, nor you can take any ITC. Now, tax dues. The definition of tax dues, as many people have interpreted, I mean, you have also interpreted. The definition is already given here in the Finance Act. I want you to just have a look at the definition once again. Over and above the definition, over and above the rules what they have clarified, and over and above the circular they have clarified, I have brought this slide to you to make it very clear. It's not there in the circular, but I am making it upfront so that some of the issues that you have raised are very clear in this. See, the government is looking for a package. You take any of the 4 cases, there are 4 categories: litigation, and there is a category of arrears, there is a category of audit, investigation, there is a category of voluntary disclosure. Any of the categories, these 4 you remember thumb rule kind of thing. If you are coming where some amount of tax dues is there, tax means tax duty cess, plus interest, penalty are there, you are welcome. You get the tax relief on the tax amount, you get a relief up to 70% depending upon the eligibility, plus your interest, fine, penalty is waived. If you are coming only with, now I am breaking up, first I take you with 4 things, that is tax, interest, penalty, and you are coming. Then I am saying that yes, you are welcome, you get the benefit on the tax, plus your entire interest and penalty is waived. Suppose your case involves only interest and penalty. Mr. Agarwalji has mentioned this. If it is only interest and penalty, no, it is not covered under this. You take any of these 4 categories, if it is only with interest and penalty, it is not covered. 3, if your case involves only interest, it's not covered. Only interest also not covered. And department never issues any show cause notice to you for interest alone. If you have paid your tax liability, it is expected that you pay the interest along with it. If you are not paid, department has coercive action to come and detain your goods or services and release the amount. There is no show cause notice ever given for interest alone. So I am repeating that if it's only a case of interest, it's not covered. If the tax dues involve only penalty, yes, again covered. Only penalty is covered. Only interest not covered. If it's an interest or penalty without tax, not covered. But if it's a package deal, you are giving some money to the government, then it is covered. You understand in a very simpler manner that if you are paying some tax, it's a legacy dispute resolution scheme. The dispute means the tax amount is a dispute. So if you are coming with a package where some tax amount is being settled, welcome. If you are coming only for waiver of interest or penalty, sorry, it's not covered as on date. Why it is not covered, that we can discuss later, but let the facts be made very clear to you. De novo proceedings, you have not mentioned that, but I would like to upfront make a provision out here saying that de novo proceedings are like any other proceedings. Commissioner appeal has confirmed, or ordinary original has been confirmed. You went to SESTAT said that yes, I am upholding this, I am referring it back to the original adjudicating authority. Those are also covered. It's not mentioned in the circular, it's not mentioned in the FAQs, but we may be issuing another circular covering this issue also. I am upfront clarifying it to you. If it is the amount is clearly quantified by the SESTAT, then that will be the disputed amount. If they are not quantified, they are only given the principles. On the basis of principle, whatever the amount, that will be the tax due. And if, for example, just to say, let's say the entire show cause notice for the last 5 years, and suppose SESTAT say that I am upholding only for 1 year, not for the extended period of time. So whatever the duty labeled for 1 year will be tax due. It's not mentioned in the Act, nor in the circular anywhere. We will be shortly coming forward. Because from 5th September onwards, I've been attending many places. I've gone to CAA, FICCI, and 1 or 2 more places also, where a lot of people have asked they have asked a lot of questions. On the basis of that, I'm making this clear to you so that some of the queries at least I can avoid. Coming to the interest liability, especially when return is filed. I filed the return, I filed it late. So what happens? Return is filed, tax due was not paid on the due date of that particular return. I paid it later. Obviously, that's why the fine and the penalty is arising. So fine and penalty is arising. Such cases are not covered under the scheme, as the tax dues defined in 123 does not include penalty and interest and late fees. Return is filed, duty and tax was not paid till the due date, hence the duty, interest, penalty are to be paid. Such cases are covered under this scheme because you have to pay some amount of tax and duty also. Show cause notice issued, I already mentioned to only for the late fee and penalty, then you are covered under the scheme. I hope this will make things clear. This specifically I am mentioning because many people asked about this, that you have filed the return, but I have filed it late. So main tax is paid, but I am only waiting for interest and late fee. So those cases are not covered. Computation of relief. He has made it very clear. I am again making it clear to you. Is the total tax dues amount minus relief, then you have to deduct the pre-deposit. The pre-deposit as defined in the Act, as on date stands only with respect to the pre-deposit with respect to appeal and the pre-deposit that you have done in the investigation, all that. I will go a step further and say that in case you have even paid certain amounts in installment, that can also be counted as a pre-deposit. Let's say tax arrears are pending, quite a large amount. In between the period, you have already paid some amounts. Now you are coming forward for filing it. You have to say, as per the law of the land, that ordinary original or ordinary appeal, according to what is the total tax amount. You show the total tax amount as whatever is the amount. Then whatever the piece, in installments, whatever you have paid, show it as a pre-deposit. Then first you get the tax relief, then as a pre-deposit. This is the biggest advantage that the government is giving to you. It's not calculating other way around. It's not saying that out of 1 crore first you will deduct the pre-deposit, then the other I will apply. No. It's saying that entire 1 crore I will give you 70% benefit, and the 30% I will give you the deduction of that. That's the greatest thing that they have been. And they have also said that in case you have paid the pre-deposit in ITC, that is also to be counted. There is no restriction if you have already done, but that is only up to 30th June. In case you have paid certain amount of pre-deposit in terms of utilizing your SENVAT credit, that is also welcome. But after 30th June, now you can't say, you can't pay through ITC, then come say that I have done the pre-deposit. Sorry.
Sir, just
Yeah.
He has to leave.
Yeah,
so
please.
we want to,
Yeah, he told me before class.
our gratitude towards you coming all the way. So request all the members to give him a big round of applause.
Thank you, sir. What I'm showing you here is not very clearly covered in the FAQ. FAQ says saying that if any pre-deposit is done, then this is a method it has to calculate. This formula is not unfolded very open in the FAQ. I want the people to understand so that tax consultants also make it very clear to you. I have shown each of the cases here. That is, tax dues after relief is equal to 30% into tax amount minus tax dues minus pre-deposit. I am showing that very clear to you. The tax pre-deposit will have to be deducted after getting the relief.
Sir, just one point
Yeah.
here for the benefit of all the viewers. Tax dues includes tax liability as a forward charge, reverse charge, even my standard credit reversal is a tax dues.
Yes,
charge.
reversal. Reduce, we have made it clear in the circular saying that if the demand is for you to reverse NVAT credit, that is also tax dues. That is a duty to be paid. So that is also tax. We have made that even though in Act it doesn't come very clearly, it's mentioned about duty.
Yeah.
Here we are mentioning, always you say duty / tax / cess. So duty means if the demand is only for the reversal of NVAT credit, you are most welcome, you can come. I said that you are asking me to reverse. In GST terminology, actually it adds up as a liability in the next return for you. So on the NVAT demand of reversal also you can come into the scheme.
So similarly on those lines, if I reverse some amount from my credit account, that will be considered as a deposit.
Deposit.
So
Before 30th June.
before 30th June. So I will be given deduction to that account.
As a pre-deposit. I am advising to you and all the people that in case you are filing, all those people who are on the online also, that in case you have to file application for the tax arrears, you go by the showcase notice or ordering original or the ordering appeal, whichever is in your hand, show the entire amount as the tax dues minus the relief that you can take, depends upon the amount, 70% to 40%, take the relief. After taking the relief, deduct the amount that you have already paid. Because strictly if you go by the Act, people are used to strict interpretation, liberal interpretation. If you read in the Act, it clearly says that yes, tax dues pre-deposit means only that amount that is paid as a pre-deposit when you go in appeal, 7.5% to 10%, or the amount that you have deposited during investigation. Act says that only. But if you make an application, our request to the members of the designated committee, they are quasi-judicial authority. They are commission level officer in one committee and joint additional and deputy commissioner. So they are bound to take a decision. They are quasi-judicial authorities. They follow the principles of natural justice. They take decision. I cannot impose anything upon them. But our interpretation is that you may claim, and I am very sure they will give this benefit to you if you have paid any amount in installments, which includes the amount that you have paid utilizing the earlier NVAT credit or present ITC prior to 30th June. The debit should be prior to 30th June. You can't now go and say that I have ITC, I paid to ITC, then it's a pre-deposit become, I am available in the scheme. No, sorry. Halaki in the showcase notice and other thing, we are given a 30th June time. In the arrears, there is no cutoff. The definition of arrears is that today's arrears also you can go. Why we have done this? Any arrear will arise out of ordering original, showcase notice or ordering appeal. So the amount is frozen prior to 30th June. But the pre-deposit that you have done will be the pre-deposits that you have done prior to 30th June. That aspect is not very clearly coming in the Act, but I am trying to clarify to you. Probably the board and we will inform to the policy section. They may be coming forward with a clarification or somewhere in the FAQ will cover that. Rest of the story I will quickly run through. The forms, everything we have made online. This is the website that you require to visit, that is CBSE-GST. This is there in the booklet. Online you have to go. If you are even not a registered person in SWL Central Excess Service Tax, please go register for the purpose of SWL-DRS. If you are a co-notice, if you have got any showcase notice because you are not registered there, yes, you can go ahead. There is no stoppage for you. You can register for SWL-DRS purpose and go. If you are already registered, you are having Central Excess Service Tax registration, you want to change mobile number or email address, at that time you have given somebody, you are most welcome. You go back to the SWL registration document that is on the website CBSE-GST. You have to log on to there are the two icons that are given here. Can you see that? ACS, CE and ST login. Log on to that. Then you say that I want to make modification in my Central Excess Service Charge registration. Approach the jurisdiction range superintendent with a self, get it modified. Save that. That means you update your profile. Then you come back and log on to SWL-DRS login. Then you file your application. When you log in here, it will ask you if you are a registered person already. Yes, you can mention your number here. You can see there on the top, apply SWL-DRS scheme. If you are not a registered person, fill up the basic details. Fill up basic details. Your name, address, phone number, mobile number, email. Why we are asking? So that every act that you do, we send you an SMS and email apart from what we are showing it on the dashboard. With your username, password, you can log into dashboard. On this website, you can see whatever form you have filed, and you can even see what is sent by the department. That is SWL-DRS Form 2, Form 3 and Form 4. That also you can see. Apart from that, every activity that you do, we give you a SMS, we give you an email also on your registered email address saying that, my dear declarant, please go open your dashboard. We have sent you the Form 2 for you. You may like to have a look at it. Even if you, the moment you register, a message comes back to you on your mobile as well as email saying that you are registered, this is your registration number. Or you file an application, the moment acknowledgement comes to you by email and SMS, apart from being there on your dashboard. Many people ask me about they have forgotten username, password of his alias Central Access Service. They can go back to Judicial Officer. We have given clear-cut instructions. You are welcome there. In fact, can I tell you some secret here? If you are a new registrant, even if you are quoting your PAN number, please quote it. Correct number. By any chance, if you quote wrong PAN number also, the system will validate and say that this PAN number is wrong. You are still welcome. Please go ahead. It will not stop you because you are declaring knowingly and unknowingly a wrong PAN number. To that extent, government is coming forward. Because anyway, you have to make payment electronically through your account number, and we hope saying that you make your account number, not your uncle's account number. Even if you make utilize of your any other person's account number, government is not going to say no to you. It will take you because government money is coming to the government. That's the basic approach that government has changed now. These are the steps. I'm not getting to that. SVLS Form 1, you file it online. Then designated committee will look into it. Then they give you Form 3 directly in case they are in agreement with that. If they do not agree, they give you Form 2. In the Form 2, you can ask for a PH. Form 2 comes to you saying that the amount declared by you is 100 rupees, but we feel that amount should be 120 rupees. And right away, they will offer a PH on the same Form 2 saying that I am offering a PH. You can come and appear PH. If you say in the Form 2A, you have to file Form 2A. If you say that I don't agree with you, this is my reply, you can ask for a reply and give you, and you can appear for PH. You don't agree with the PH date that you are given, you are busy on that day, you file Form 2B and say that, look, I don't, somehow this PH date is not suiting me, I would like to come on this date. You can ask, nothing wrong in that. Then after the entire deliberation is done offline, then they will give you Form 3, that is the determined amount as per the designated committee. Can I tell you one more? In case you are not satisfied with the designated amount, within the determined amount of the designated committee, you can say bye-bye, I don't want to follow this thing. It is not binding upon you. It's not an advance ruling that, this binding, you have come to us, you have to pay, if you do not pay, we'll put you penalty, interest, absolutely nothing. You take an attempt, take a chance. Up to the Form 3 you can go, take Form 3. The determined amount by the designated committee is up to your expectation, pay. Once you pay, you can't go back. If you don't want to pay at that stage, also you can walk out of this. Even though I don't advocate that you should walk out of the scheme, a lot of man hours and have gone both from the party declarant taxpayer side as well as officer side. Officers are very patient. Even if you waste their man hours, they don't mind now because we are holding up with a lot of patients at least till 31st December, last day. Then you can still have an option to walk out of the scheme, even though I don't advocate that. Once you pay the amount, along with the proof that you have to submit, that you have withdrawn in case it's pertain to High Court, Supreme Court, in the Form 3 at the bottom, there is a proof that is available. I'll quickly run through the forms. I'm not going to waste my time or waste your time on this. But you have to, when you file Form 3, at the bottom of the Form 3 itself, you have to pay challan link where you have paid the amount, and you have to also show what is the proof of withdrawal of the case. Then Form 3 comes to us. Once Form 3 comes, within 30 days, we will issue Form 4. The withdrawal issue that he has mentioned, I'm going to cover to you just shortly. When you're making this declaration, kindly make it very carefully, this declaration. This declaration does not bar you, but in the serial number 1 to 4 are the ineligible cases. Serial number 5 to 10 are those cases which say saying that you are not eligible under this particular scheme. If you come under particular scheme, you are not eligible for voluntary disclosure, it will say. Otherwise, you are eligible for other channels. There are 4 channels to enter. In the 4 channels, is stopping you to enter the voluntary disclosure. If you make a misdeclaration here, no penalty. The officer will see, verify from his record. He will say saying that my declarant, you are sorry, you have made a wrong declaration. You are not eligible for this scheme. So hence we are rejecting your application on this scheme. Manually he will do it, give it to you. For that, there is no penalty, there is no penal action against you. I told you officers are going to with lot of patience at least till 31st of December. This is a Form 1 I have covered to you. There is a where categories I have brought to you. I have been requested to kindly go through the form. And again, when you fill up the form, the amount is auto-calculated by this form. The formula is built in. It doesn't show you upfront. If you want, you can do through calculator and see. It will calculate you as per the slide that I have shown you. It will give the tax relief. Then it will deduct into. Dear, suppose you don't agree with that. Then you still have in the form saying that what you calculated by system is not in agreement to me. This is the reason, this is the amount according to me. You have the declaration, you have the form to make. In case you make a mistake about show cause notice number, all that, there is no amendment. Do not worry. Do not worry. In case you type it out 1234/AB, instead of that you have typed 123/AB, don't worry. Once the form is submitted, don't worry. When you go to the officer, you say that this is the actual show cause notice. Even if you don't say, officer will correct the show cause notice offline in his no sheet and order, he will tell you saying that there is a slight mistake in the number that you have quoted, click error. He will still allow you to go for the scheme. But there is no amendment to the form. Right? Rest of the process I have already told you. These are Form 2 and Form 3. Then if you want, you can ask for adjournment, but only one adjournment. You can't keep on asking for more and more adjournment. One PH, one adjournment. Then after that, then you can ask for adjournment. This is the Form 2B. And Form 3, they'll give you determined amount. Once they give Form 3, the matters are frozen. The matters are determined. The tax dues are determined. If you are willing, you pay. Auto challan will be generated on your dashboard. In the challan, amounts will be filled up. The amounts are not editable. You pay the amount within 30 days. And after you pay the amount within 30 days, then it says whichever is later, you are supposed to withdraw that application. So rules are also very clear on that. So paying amount within 30 days, but in case you are making an attempt, this answers partially your question, in case you are making an attempt with High Court and Supreme Court to withdraw the case, so after you withdraw the case, then only the time period starts. The rules I will read it out for you when I go to that particular aspect. Just focus that it is before it's later. Verification, once we give the verification to you, verification they do, they issue Form 4. By issuing Form 4, please remember this is a certificate, you can claim and keep it in office. It says saying that you have paid so much amount. Your appeal that has been withdrawn, that has been filed by you, is deemed to be at the level of Commission Appeal and Sestat, High Court and Supreme Court, it is withdrawn. And there is no prosecution against it. And this is a final amount that you are required to pay in this issue, and no further amount of any tax or penalty is paid. It gives you a lot of relief if you take the discharge certificate as far as that case is concerned, the show cause notice is concerned. My request to you, kindly have a look at the rules once and things will become very clarified to you. Just to encourage you, I would like to say that even though it is very, very initial cases, there are already, I don't want you to quote the figures anywhere, but still I'm sharing with you, there is a very good response till now. Almost around 2,500 applications have come, where the amount involved is approximately 170 crores, amount payable. This is the initial reaction of the trade in first 10-15 days. I don't want to quote this figure anywhere, neither in the press or anywhere, but still for your consumption I'm telling you that there is a very good response in the starting, and looking at the response, the government is very optimistic that trade is taking, because trade obviously want to have all the calculation, think about it and do. As Sri Bimal Jain ji has also indicated to you, the early the better, instead of waiting till 31st December. And I have seen that very good response is there from, you can see which city is responding, Chennai. Outsmarting the entire country. See the number of applications, 700 applications when compared to rest of the cities.
How much in Delhi?
Delhi, you can see here, Delhi is just 33 applications. Delhi people are very cautious, they are still thinking what to do. Chennai people are not bad. Anyway, if you have any difficulty in this, you're most welcome. We have CBSE Mitra Help Desk. I have two of my officers. Can I just introduce them? Mr. Sudhir Kumar, he is from CBSE Help Mitra. Mr. Rishi Sharma. These are the officers. There are around, we have given the running of CBSE Mitra Help Desk to a private company. There are around number of agents, number of people who are receiving recently have improved the number to 35. At any time you call up 24/7, they are received to receive the call. and you can also send an email to us of your difficulty. You can also raise a web ticket. You have any issues, I am sharing my email address. On policy issues, I am sharing email address of my senior colleague, Srimati B. Busha. Policy legal matters, you can approach her, or any IT related matters, you can approach us.
Request members for a big round of applause for both the young officers.
Now, can I come one by one point to what Mr. Bimal Jain has raised? I will try to clarify. I mean, we are not here to argue with you, but still I will try to say as much as possible so that things are not, at the end of the seminar, at the end of the discussion, you should not go out with a doubt in mind. You should go out with some clarity. A lot of issues he has raised. Thanks to you, many times you have done this. I mean, really you are doing a lot of service by raising the issues, and government also gets an opportunity to clarify to you. I'll start one by one. If I'm missing something, kindly you can supplement the query. You have said saying that by way of notification, we can add some more duties and cesses which are covered here. Okay? There is a provision we have kept. We have kept it that particularly. There are certain requests on the trade to cover NCCD and coal sales. As and date, they are not covered. Government is open to cover any other tax assets also. So in case certain organized chamber of commerce like PSD are there, in case you have any session in this regard, we have a window to cover some more taxes and cesses. You are welcome, you can make a session. In fact, government is ready to looking forward to you for what kind of, that's the reason we have kept that, any other taxes are levies which can be covered by notification. The amount must be quantified. You kindly see the definition. You have said that Sri Bimal Jain ji, you have said slightly overlap between audit and investigation. I would like to clarify that when audit is defined here, if you see the definition of the audit, when you have defined the audit, it says that if I have initiated audit, a written communication should reach you. That means just that a letter that if I have said saying that I would like to come for audit of your unit, I am not quantified anything there. I would like to have the audit done. This is good enough. If you should have received it, either by written letter, you will go a step further. Even if you have received an email, email is also an official communication in writing to you. It should be a written communication. Comes to you, that means your audit has started already, 30th June. There is no need of quantification of duty and tax. You will come eligible under the audit scheme. Because if you see the form, when you fill up for the audit, separate stream is there. If you fill up for the investigation, separate is there. 9.3.3 is audit. There also it is asking duty, tax and cess. Yes, if the amount is quantified, you can mention the quantified amount. Even if by any chance there is any difficulty for the department to quantify the amount, but as far as the eligibility is concerned, saying that you have a letter reaching you that certifies you that you are eligible for the scheme, you are not eligible for the scheme. Now, how to go about to quantifying this? If the LAR does not contain a quantified amount, we will sort it out for you. Because we have come with open hands, we are inviting you with open hands to you. So, what I want to clarify to you, slightly in addition to what Sri Bimal Jain has said, that even if your audit has been initiated, if it is not quantified, do not worry. Make an application. Whatever is your quantified amount you feel on the disputed amount, you can pay. Sometimes, when the audit is initiated, when audit comes, on the spot you make a payment. So that kind of quantification, if it's being done, is good. And it's called spot memo. I myself have done 25 years in the field. I have done many audits, big companies we have done. So wherever when audit pair is raised on the spot, they do. There is no issue at all. You come forward and do it. We are not going to say that it was not quantified. However, if it is an investigation or investigation, inquiry, their quantification is must. If you see there, quantified is a mandatory for you. Meaning investigation has been initiated and they should have quantified the amount to you. So that written communication of quantified means also not orally, written quantified amount should be available with you. I know I am making a step more than what is mentioned in the Act, but I thought it's a right moment to clarify to you. I will go back and come with a written circular on this. Thank God government has given me that kind of liberty. I should be able to do that. We have made a note. I want to upfront clarify to you, saying that please come forward. There is nothing that is going to stop you. Next issue that he has raised. He says in the show cause notice, no PS has been concluded and some documentation is required. See, I have done 25 years of adjudication, right from the AC stage from 1994 onward to up to 2017. When I conduct a PH, I'm very clear in the PH. Believe me, I'm very clear in the PH whether the PH is conclusive or inconclusive. Like he has mentioned, most of the time, whatever is in the written reply, you come there and you say that I have reiterated the content. I used to record and I have reiterated, he has reiterated the contents of the thing, sign it and finish up. That's it, only one PH. Generally, we don't offer more than one PH. There are two cases. If I ask in the PH saying that, Mr. Taxpayer, Mr. SSE, you were not clarified this in your written reply, or now also you are not clear, would you like to come back with these documents to me? There are also two possibilities. I would say, as far as PH is concerned, this PH is final. You may submit your documents prior to I pass an order. I also write there saying that PH is over. This aspect is not clear, please come back on this aspect with written submission. Final hearing is over. Or I may say saying that this aspect is not clear, I record in my PH. This aspect is not clear, you may like to submit and we would going to have another PH. So in the PH, number one, it is very clearly recorded whether it is a conclusive PH or inconclusive PH. This is I am telling as far as the executive, assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, joint commissioner, additional commissioner is concerned.
Well, sir, I have a question on this. Suppose the PH has been taken place finally, okay, and order has not been passed. How does it matter even if this case is covered in this?
How does
it matter even if this case is covered in the scheme?
No, we are not going to discuss something beyond the act. Beyond that, you give a session because no active amendments is for the part of the budget. So I be required to pass either by ordinance or by the next session of parliament we have to.
No, absolutely right. So
why
what can be the reason that this case is?
No, I do not have any authority or agenda to discuss political wisdom because this is a decision taken at FM and beyond that level. So there is a call that has been taken on this saying that final hearing is over, then you are eligible. Final hearing is not over, not eligible. If you have any doubt in the final hearing, many people ask me, sir, this final hearing is very inconclusive. If you are a taxpayer, you have attended a PH, if I am a adjudicating officer, done adjudication for last X number of years, I am very clear that in the generally it's one hearing, only in the 1 year it gets it up. If you ask for cross-examination, then it is prolonged to that. And generally another case. If you are asked for you don't appear for PH, I give one PH. You don't appear for PH, I give second PH. You don't appear for PH, third PH, go on. You don't appear for 3 times, 3 PHs are over. The limitation is that more than 3 PHs, maximum up to 3 PHs. So that means 3 PHs is over, means final PH is over. And this has happened before 30th June, over. And the officers, here also you mentioned, Mr. Bimal, no officer will, January adjudication is over, order coming, on 1/7. This never happens. We have very clear-cut instructions to our officers saying that if you have conducted a PH, if the final hearing is over, please pass the order within 15 days. You know, in the monthly statement that department calls for, I have to give reasons if a PH is over and order is not passed within 15 days. And you know the adjudicating authorities have been called written explanation why you are not passed order. And if an orders are transferred, wherever PH you have conducted, it's your duty to pass orders and go. By any chance, you raise that issue also. By any chance, if the officer left without passing an order, that means another officer would have come in the annual transfer. We have clarified in the circular also that it will be a fresh PH. The officer cannot pass on the basis of the PHs conducted by his predecessor. That means that further PHs are going to be given. All the PHs that have been passed are over. The show cause, that means the issue is at show cause notice level only. Show cause notice has been issued prior to 30th June. At that stage only the things will be done. Okay, I think, does it throw some light?
Yeah, it's going fine.
Yeah. Next he said that appeal pending before SESTAT, I will argue, you said about appeal pending before SESTAT, I will go ahead, take a chance there. I will see which kind of order comes to me. If the order is favorable to me, I will go with that order. If the order is not favorable to him, immediately I file an appeal. Yes, you can take that advantage as and date. I cannot give instructions to my executive commissioners as well as SESTAT and commissioner will not to do any job. Vice versa is true. Suppose you were making an application, you immediately inform in writing to the executive commissioner or additional commissioner, joint commissioner, etc., or to commissioner appeal or to SESTAT saying that I am going for this scheme, please do not proceed further. If you make a request, they will not proceed. If you do not make a request to them, and suppose you have not filed an appeal, filed an application in the scheme, then you come. You go ahead with your adjudication appeal procedure. You see the outcome. Outcome is happy, you are happy, they are happy, no issue. After seeing the outcome, if you are not happy, because the show cause notice was issued prior to this, order in appeal was issued prior to this, you can still come for the scheme. We are not debarring you there. Here I am telling you that you can make an intimation to the officer saying that not to proceed. Meaning unless you put a stop application, they will not. But you have to give it in writing, it will be kept on record. Saying that you are trying out your luck at the scheme. I mean, can you imagine what ways government is bending or turning backwards to accommodate you? We are telling you saying that you can, actually I am not telling you, but there is nowhere in the act or in the rules that debars you if you are waiting for an order to come, for which final hearing has already over on 30th June. Nowhere in the act doesn't stop you. So if somebody, consultant interprets like this saying that wait for the outcome and see, then you go for your welcome. I think, is that okay? I'm coming quietly frontwards so that things are applicable to you. You have also mentioned about monetary limits that are prescribed for departmental appeal, right? Yes, departmental appeal monetary limits have been prescribed, 50 lakhs, 1 crore and 2 crores. Yes, if that amount is done, then department has been asked to, I think it was 5th August, 5th August. 5th August? 8th August. 8th August. That monetary limit, as per the monetary limit, departments will withdraw departmental appeal. No doubt about it. We are here for the national dispute resolution thing. Our national litigation policy is to withdraw up to a monetary limit. We will withdraw our appeal. No issue about it. But this was departmental appeal, where there is no party appeal. This case, this SVLR is basically for party appeals, where there is a litigation and confirmed demand. However, it covers the cases where there are one or more appeals that have been filed. Meaning, if 100 rupees in the show cause notice, order in original says saying that I am confirming 50 rupees, I am dropping 50 rupees. Meaning he has confirmed 50 rupees. For the confirmation of 50 rupees, you as a SSE would have filed an appeal. Yes, welcome. For the dropping of 50 rupees, the department filed an appeal. Yes, okay. So when the 2 or more appeals are pending there, the definition that we have given is the aggregate amount will be taken as attached to. That is the entire 100 rupees will be taken. And that you get 70% relief minus whatever the deposit that you do. Only in those cases where there is both departmental appeal, party appeal, you can go. If you see FAQ query number 60, FAQ number 60 also says that if you are having some departmental appeal, whether you are eligible. Yes, if you are having departmental appeal, my advice to you, even though it's not very clearly in FAQ, my advice to you is that that particular question 60 is to be read with section 124, which says saying that there are one or more appeals that are pending there. If it is a purely departmental appeal, where entire amount has been dropped by the adjudicating authority, appellate authority, where the department has filed a departmental appeal, then plain reading of this act and says saying that SVLDRS may not be applicable to you. And you are not wise enough also when there is a departmental appeal pending, as law of the land does not demand a single rupee from you, there is no reason why you should come. Still, if you want to come, then it's a different case. You can send a session, then department will modify the scheme and say that yes, few departmental cases also you want to come, you can come. Otherwise also, that is the reason. See, through SPLDRS, that department is covering the party appeal. That is my impression. Through monetary limits case, I am covering the departmental appeals. Why? Ultimately, the government wants to reduce the litigations. See, our intentions are reflected in the acts that we are doing. It's not that we are talking something and doing something. Both are complementary to each other, not contradictory to each other. I hope, Mr. Bimal, when you mentioned this, particularly it's my duty to clarify that. Next issue mentioned is that you mentioned about only for interest, it is not available. I made that clear in the slide. I hope that is clear to you. Only for interest, yes, not available, not eligible. Interest or penalty is also not eligible according to my interpretation, my understanding, subject to clarification. If you want any clarification in writing, you can send an email to Sri V. Usha, policy section will clarify. I have no authority to clarify on such issues. I can only take your things to them and get it clarified. This is my understanding, saying that if it is for interest and penalty, you are not eligible. Whereas you said you are eligible, that my understanding is yes, you are not eligible. Only for interest, yes, you are not eligible. We are coming with a package, then you are eligible. I hope that makes it. Then recoverable. You said here saying that file the return admitted, not paid. Again, this slide will answer your query. What is that? You have filed the return. I mentioned that to you. You have filed the return. Here, I have made further clear to you. You have filed the return. Tax and due not paid before the due date. So today, your tax plus interest plus penalty is there. Yes, you can come. If you have filed the return, you have already paid your tax. Only interest. You have paid the tax, but you have paid it late. Only your interest is pending and penalty or fine is pending. No, sorry, you are not welcome in the scheme. I think that will clarify. Yeah, you have any supplement on this?
Just one point. In amount area,
Yeah, go ahead.
amount in area, they are saying that declarant has filed a return under indirect tax enactment, admitted the liability, but not paid it. Admitted liability of tax dues I'm referring to.
Correct.
Right? That is falling into amount in area.
Correct.
When you go to voluntary disclosures, with exclusion, the declarant has filed the return under indirect tax enactment, shown as payable. The word used shown as payable, but not paid it. So I'm saying it is going contradictory, sir. That is the point I'm raising here. So this I'm not being able to reconcile.
Contradictory. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
this is
Now I will read it for you.
Yeah.
Kindly refer to section 121C, amount in areas.
Okay.
Amount in areas defines it as saying that which is recoverable arrears of duty under this act on account of no appeal has been filed by the declarant prior to 30th June. An order in appeal relating to the declarant is attained finality. These two, no doubt in this?
No.
These two, no doubt. Third one is mentioned as saying that declarant having filed the return under the indirect tax enactment before 30th June, wherein he admitted tax liability but not paid. No doubt it comes under arrears according to the department. Actually, we call it in day-to-day language defaulted amount. If you see when I am dealing, let's say, with a particular commissioner, I was commissioner of Nellore. So very big post is there in our area that used to file returns, but we never used to pay the service tax. So we used to call it defaulted amount. That is called defaulted amount. For the purpose of this scheme, that amount also be covered under the arrears. Now I will draw your attention to what Mr. Bimal Jain is raising to a particular section that is called section 125, which deals about declaration under the scheme. In 125, person making voluntary disclosure. I said, saying that person making voluntary disclosure after being subjected to, meaning this particular 125 says that all persons shall be eligible to make the declaration under the scheme except the following. It is excluding you. It is excluding you. Whom is it excluding? A person making voluntary disclosure after having filed the return. I am reading 2, F2. You are with me, Bimal Jain?
Yes, yes.
F2 I am reading. It says that person making voluntary disclosure having filed return under the indirect tax enactment where he has indicated an amount of duty as payable but not paid. Thereby the meaning is that no doubt it is an arrear. Why I counted as arrear? We would like to give you 60% and 50% benefit. For the return that you have filed, you have said that this is my amount to be paid but I have not paid. It's an arrear for me. I will give you benefit of 60-50. Less than 50 lakhs 60%, more than 50 lakhs 50%. But you cannot make under the category, if you kindly see the form 1, kindly go to the form 1, there are 4 categories and some 8 subcategories. You cannot make your declaration under voluntary disclosure, that is 9.4. You have to make declaration about amount in areas. That is, I have very clearly written here 9.2.2. It says tax dues declared in return as payable but not paid. It is an area for me. Why? We would like to give a 60-50%. But you cannot go under this.
So I should not,
under 4.
I should not opt for voluntary disclosures. I should go as a amount in area. All right.
Very clear, no doubt about it. In fact, if we come to the form where I am asking you yes, no, I will go back to that slide. Kindly focus here, you will easily appreciate because at the end of the day you should be benefited. I will go to one declaration form wherein I will show you there are declarations, yes or no's that I have asked. Where is the this slide. If you read query number 6 onwards, 6, 7, 8, 9 debarrs you to come under voluntary disclosure. Please read me very carefully. It debars you to come under channel number 4. That is called 9.4. 9.4 voluntary disclosure. But it doesn't debar you to come under 9.1 litigation, 9.2 investigation, 9.3 9.2 arrears and 9.3 investigation. I hope you are able to appreciate that.
Yes.
So it's only that among the 4 channels of entry, one channel is blocked for you, other channels are open. Similarly, if you come to question number 10, that is about have the tax rules with regard to the matter under inquiry investigation not been quantified before 36. Here the words are used, kindly read, inquiry, investigation or audit not been quantified. Quantified, I told you the definition says the quantity of duty or tax should be written communication should have been received by you. Before 30th you are not done. If yes to this question, you are ineligible to come under the investigation inquiry audit category, that is 9. Investigation category 9.3. So it is blocking you to come under 9.3. You can come under other categories. You can come under 9.4, you can go under 9.1 and 2 also.
Shall I add one thing?
Yeah, please.
Since you are well versed with the provision, maybe taxpayer may not be that well versed. Now, you say there are 2 provisions. Exclusion under voluntary disclosures may fall into amount in area. And this confusion lies in the trade. So, only point which I want to draw your attention that it may not fall into this particular category, but may fall into other category. Again, opening up subjectivity in the mind of taxpayer, even the consultant, to determine whether I'm falling in or not falling in.
No, can you make a draft FAQ and give it to me? We'll edit it and get it to you.
Sure.
Whatever is doubt, and then because I have gone through your booklet, excellent booklet,
Yeah.
3 or 4 issues are raised there.
Yeah.
Just draft FAQ on that
Sure.
and send it to us. I'll edit it little bit and send it to my policy section CBS. If they deem fit, they will issue.
Sure.
Whatever comes to your mind, just draft as long as the frequently asked questions.
Okay.
I don't want to get into case studies. Like in your booklet you have given, in this particular case, there are 2 issues raised. Issue number 1, I am agreeing. Issue 2, I do not agree. Why should you ask me to go combine both the issues? Not that. Please understand, who has to take a decision? Me? No. Who has to take a decision?
That's
No. The officers of the designated committee. Who are they? Quasi-judicial authorities. Can the board, you, me, tell them saying that you can't confirm here, you have done? No. We can only give you policy guidelines. Ultimate decisions on the specific cases will be by them. I have no authority to override them. They have freedom to override me. It is my decision. I am giving you speaking order. If you agree. If you don't agree, go to court. I am not concerned. Like I was earlier, like I am earlier, now also. I am a quasi-judicial authority. So I cannot bind the case last time. But concept-wise, conceptual FAQs, welcome. You have what the doubts that you are having, saying that if whether I can come under channel number 4 or channel 2 or 3, you can ask that. So my request to you is that kindly frame your draft FAQ in concepts wise without giving specific. Or you can illustrate. If you want to illustrate the concept, company X has this issue, company Y has this issue. Like that you can illustrate. FAQ and illustrate. Kindly send it to us, we'll clarify that. Absolutely no issue. As many FAQs as possible so that things are made very clear to all of us, including the officers also. Because any FAQ that we are issuing, it is not only for the trade, it is for the officers also, so that officers are also clear on what are we talking about. Right. I'll go back to the I hope I'm clear.
Yeah.
You're getting what I'm trying to say. Then next thing he comes in saying that he said that about the refund and all that is not an area, and generally it is kept in call book. If any wrong refund has been sanctioned by officer, if the department feels saying that it is not correct, there is a review process in our department. We review that, we direct the officer to file an appeal against his own refund order. Appeal is filed. Then we also tell him to issue show cause notice to protect that erroneous refund that is sanctioned. That particular show cause notice we keep in call book because appeal is pending. We do not know how many years appeal will take. So it should not be time bar. If I have given you some sanction of refund, I should release within 1 year initially, then 18 months, now 2 years. All those limitations shall not apply. For that purpose, we issue a protective demand, protective show cause notice. We do not adjudicate that, we'll keep it. Similarly, I would like to draw your attention for audit paras. If CAG raises an audit para, I hope you might have come across, you can cover in a booklet also. So what do I do? As a department, I argue with CAG saying that no, your audit para is not justified for the following ground. But how you have to be on safe side, I issue a show cause notice to you. I tell you also saying that I am keeping in call book. However, I will keep arguing with CAG. CAG agrees with me, I am lucky. I will take out the show cause notice, drop it. If CAG says that no, I do not agree, then I will take up that show cause notice. Whoever is the adjudicating authority will apply his mind and pass an order. Depending upon the merits of the case, it will be reviewed. If you are agreed, you will go in appeal. If I am agreed, I will go in appeal. So that process will continue. But here we have kept refunds and rebates out of the preview. That is why you are saying review. Appellate authority does not include revision authority. Revision authority is basically deals about draft. And does that clarify? You also said that excess, if you are deposited, it will not be refunded. Obviously, this is not in a refund scheme. It is only a dispute resolution scheme. You are getting 70%. You are not asking. Government is not asking for refund of that. So similarly, in case you have already paid some amount which is in excess, it will not be refunded. Because in many of the cases, see the benefit that government have seen if you have carefully gone through is that for every show cause notice you file a separate application. If the show cause notice amount is not that 3-4 show cause notice combined you are filing, it may cross beyond 50 lakh. If it crosses beyond 50 lakhs, your tax relief is 50%. If it is below 50 lakhs, your tax relief is 70%. The government has given you benefits and that you file show cause notice wise. So that in case the amount is less, you get a benefit. You file with respect to order in original. You file with respect to order in appeal. Whatever the order in appeal amount comes. In fact, I will tell you one more secret that in case if it is a declaration, return that you have filed, if that amount is not paid, let's say in a year 16-17, let's say 6 returns, you have filed but you are not paid. Do I have to file a combined amount in that all those returns for the year? No. You have to file it by return wise. Thereby you get a benefit of likelihood that is amount is less than 50 lakhs, you get a benefit of 70%. Okay. Can you imagine what kind of benefit you are getting? Return wise. This return, one application. This return, one application. This return, one application. Every return you get, in case you are less than 50 lakhs, you get a benefit.
This is very good, sir. But what happened, we need to translate whatever you are saying today in some more applications and give the benefit to the state members.
Unless government gives in writing, you doesn't want to believe you. The very scheme says like this. What is this? Sabka Vishwas. So believe me, you make an application. Even if government does not, what I am saying is be positive. Even if government does not, we will ensure that it is given. Nothing is in my hand because I am only one of the small, gear in the government kitchen. I will ensure that it is taken up and given. Even if it does not come, be positive. File an application. The officers of the designated committee are also welcoming you. And they will take an appropriate decision to include you. The government is not going to strictly interpret and say that this is not allowed, this is not allowed. No, government is here to keep it open hands, allow you to say. This is the symbol. This symbol means not arm wrestling. This symbol means holding your hand. That's our symbol. If you see there on the top, please don't interpret it as arm wrestling. It's a symbol that is going to hold your hand. So the designated committee will take a decision even if it does not clearly come out in effect. You make an attempt. Why? You are taking a chance. If it comes to your taste, all right, Form 3. If it doesn't come to your taste, I told you already. Next one you mentioned is about demand withdrawn. Move on application, getting the order, not paid within 30 days. What happens later? What exactly was this? I just forgot. Deemed to have been withdrawn. Yeah. You said saying that if I make an appeal is pending before Commissioner Appeal and says that it is deemed to have withdrawn. If the appeal is filed in High Court and Supreme Court, I had to make an application for withdrawal. The Form 3 says saying that you have to enclose Form 3. If you see the bottom, kindly I'll take you to Form 3. If you see the bottom, it says you have to file a proof of withdrawal of the application. So as on date, it means that you have to enclose the order given by High Court and Supreme Court of closing of the case. You approach Supreme Court, High Court says that look, I have gone to SVLDR scheme, I'm withdrawing my appeal, so please kindly close my case. So the Supreme Court and High Court gives you the closing order. People's, your genuine concern that you have made, I made a note. Here is that yes, it is very difficult to get a closure order from them. Yes or no? It's very difficult. It's not easy. You know, what pain happens to you happens to us also. When departmental appeal, when we are saying that monetary limits have been raised to 1 crore, 2 crore, we have been directed by my bosses, when I was in the field, I have been directed my boss to withdraw the application. I filed withdraw. My boss used to ring up and say, Rahman, you have not got the order from the sestat. Sir, what do? I can only file an application for withdrawal. How do I force my sestat to pass an order? No, you have to make an effort to get an order. Yes, we made an effort. Similarly, for you also, you make an application for withdrawal. In Form 3, if you see at the bottom, you have to enclose the proof of withdrawal. Strict interpretation of the rule is that you have to get a closure order and file. Yes, it says. But again, in the rules also, if you kindly see the rules says whichever is later. I want to draw your attention. If you read rule number 9, it says that designated committee on being satisfied, the declarant has paid the full amount determined by it, indicated in Form 3, and on submission of the proof of withdrawal of appeal or repetition or reference made to under Rule 8, if any shall be issued electronically, SVLDR as Form 4, a discharge certificate under Section 128B within 30 days of the said payment, listen to me, of the said payment and submission of the said proof, whichever is later. Meaning, if you give me proof later, then I will give you certificate from the date of giving me proof. Within 30 days, certificate 4, that is discharge certificate. But for payment, you have to do within 30 days. That means the moment determined amount is communicated to you through Form 3, within 30 days, pay the payment. Keep your full efforts for getting a closure of the order from High Court and Supreme Court. The day you get that, tell them saying that I got the thing, then you file Form 3's bottom, saying that this is the Form 3's bottom, ask you two things. One is the proof of payment challan, two is that proof of withdrawal. Then you enclose that order copy, file. The moment you file Form 3 with the both, then they will give you. But the date will be from the date of getting the withdrawal order. Here is a grievance point. You may not have that control. I have to pay money in advance. That's what Mr. Bimal Jain is telling. Yes, you have to pay in advance within 30 days. But they will take time, sir, 2-3 months. You will give me discharge only after that. Yes, you have a grievance point. Please make an application. Please make a representation to the government saying that if I get you my application for withdrawal, will that be sufficient? Government may or may not consider. What are the pros and cons? Government may not consider because look, you have gone and made an application, then you come through Form 3, then you may pay, then later you may say that no, I'm withdrawing my application for withdrawal. Anything can happen. So unless it is recorded, government will consider our merits. So both sides have their pros and cons. You are free to make this suggestion to the government. I'm not encouraging or saying that you make an suggestion, but if you have a grievance, government is always open. I hope some other points are clear. I'll go to page 2. That of issues he has raised. So page 2 he has mentioned saying that main show cause notice is issued to the main noticee. The co-notices cannot independently go. Yes. He said saying that it is contrary to the Act. No, it is not contrary. Act is silent on that. If I have clarified something in my circular which is contrary to the Act, then I have to worry. Here the Act, to my reading, you are all experts, you may be knowing much better than me. To my reading, it is not said that if main show cause notice has to go, then only co-notice can. Without main show cause, main notice, co-notice can go. Act is silent on that. Circular it says saying that the co-notice can come only if main notice has already gone either under the scheme or to settlement commission, or he has paid the entire tax amount or amount to be paid, isn't it? Suppose my main notice has already paid the amount, either through the appeal or through the scheme or through settlement commission, then as a co-notice I am eligible. So please understand Bimal Jain ji and all others that we are encouraging people to come. Thereby we have said saying that if your main notice has paid, co-notice can come. By clarifying that co-notice can come, we are only taking a positive orientation step by inviting co-notices. I know in the field, lakhs and lakhs of co-notices are there. A big company, ITC company at one particular place in the country one company has caught in some case. There are thousands of lorry owners, transporters who are involved on the thousands. The main notice he has paid the amount and gone. Many of the notices are not even traceable by the department. For department, yes, it is appearing. For me, it is different. As a driver, as a transport owner, for me also headache. My main notice has gone, I came to know, quickly I can make an application because only for penalty. You have to make an application, forget about it. Then department discharge certificate will come to you saying, because only penalty. Your main notice has paid. A clear-cut certificate comes to you saying that, thank you, you have made an application and discharge certificate is giving it to you. No need of paying any penalty to you. Is it not a kind of a broad statement that government is giving? It's a lot of help for the co-notices. So I'm very sure let's not interpret very strictly and discourage the co-notices. Please welcome the co-notices to come so that they are also benefited on this. Because I have seen practically myself, many of the lorry owners, transporters will suffer a lot. Many of the people suffer. There are cases, another example I'll tell. There are people who have supplied during service tax regime buses to state rate transport. I was Commissioner of Customs, Central Excise Service Tax at Guntur, and there is a APSRTC, AP State Road Transport Corporation. Many of the people have supplied their buses, private vehicle, to the APSRTC on hire basis. Then that I have to pay tax. I mean, that's, the person who gives the vehicle will have to pay tax. Many of them were having a lot of difficulties. Many of them got choke on. Many of them got penalties and all that. So all those people can get rid of this under the scheme, saying that my main notice is that is APSRTC would have already done, so I should be allowed to kind of. Yes.
Shall I add here, sir? In a humble point, nothing like, if main notice has gone and co-notice, why they require to go then for this declaration? If main notice is gone, then you should deemed provision. Give them liberty, okay, your all notices are get vacated. You wanted them to come for transporter, penalty levy, transporter might not be knowing how to go for this declaration. So I'm saying that maybe some kind of ease of business, because government is also working on ease of business. When you're not going to get anything on penalty, so main notice is gone, then all the deemed, all co-notice deemed, they should be given the leave. That would be our submission.
I wish Sri Bimal Jain would have met our Honorable FM before she presented the budget. Would have given the suggestion. She would have made headlines saying that in the budget itself, Government of India is hereby saying that if you are a co-noticee, the only penalty or fee is pending, I am waiving upfront to you. See how much positive impact it would have been made. I wish Bimal Singh you have access to Honorable Finance Minister. I mean, she would have taken the political, advantage out of it. It would have been a very upfront positive message to the department. Yes, it is true. Yes, it is true. But why we bureaucrats did not suggest to FM before she went for budget speech is as follows. What is that? Government does not have powers to waive any arrears in IRS or in government, because we can only collect the tax. We do not have powers to waive your tax or dues. I do not have power. Nobody in the department has any power. So if I declare a scheme, even though it is passed by Parliament, even though it is part of it, if I declare a scheme saying that outright, I am waiving, it's not like a jail, no? We have arrested, kept some people in jail, next new government comes in state saying that all those people who are in jail are released, go. You cannot do that. You cannot say that, all the tax areas of central service tax, all of you I am waiving today, all of you sleep peacefully. You don't have powers. Government, at least the bureaucrats say the government doesn't have powers. I wish that kind of power is also given in future. It will be prone to misutilize and discrimination. Unfortunately, we don't have that. There is a procedure in the department saying that in case certain amount is not recoverable even after making hundreds of efforts, then there's a committee formed, that committee goes through it, then it's certified, then that amount is waived. That is also a petty amount. It's never been properly utilized. That's the reason probably we could not done, but still, Mr. Bimal, this is an open session. You should make it to our honorable ministers. Maybe it's a good point. I don't have opportunity to meet her. If you meet her, please make a session. She'll make a bold statement in the press. That's the reason. Next, let's come into the point. Take it in a lighter view. Don't quote me that I said something against the government, but I'm very sorry. If that could be made, it would have been better. Yeah. Show cause notice on two subject matter, one settled, one disputed. Why are you forcing me to come under that? Yes, I agree with you. Where show cause notice is there, issue number 1, for this amount, quantified. Issue number 2, for this issue, quantified. then you have to, as per the rules, as per the section says that you have to apply under the scheme for the entire amount. You cannot pick and choose. This issue is weak, so hence I will come. This issue is strong, hence I will contest. As and when government said you can't pick and choose the issue, you have to come for that, irrespective of whether it is a settled matter. Similarly, I would like to here also say, extension to what Sri Bimal Jain has said, that if the show cause notice is issued periodical, let's say the mother show cause notice for the 5 years initially, that is pending, then another periodical show cause, another periodic show cause notice. Here the FAQs or system does not bar you. It says saying that the main show cause notice is under dispute, subsequent periodical show cause notice you can come. It has never barred. It has only barred issue wise. So take an advantage of that. And if you feel saying that no, I should be given an opportunity as long as it is quantified. Suppose it's not quantified. I've adjudicated a show cause notice against one of the famous coaching institutes for IIT and all that, where issue number 1, issue number 2, issue number 3, issue number 4, total together 500 crores. I myself have done adjudication. In those cases, it's not quantified issue wise. You can never ever go pick and choose issue wise. But you have some good suggestion I welcome to you, where you say that whether I should be allowed to choose pick and choose, as on date that is not there, still you are welcome, sir. You are welcome. You can make a suggestion to the government. Government may consider probably later stage. This is a good session. There is nothing wrong about it. Always keep open the channels of communication so that it very well communicated to the department. Next issue you mentioned was order was issued 27 dues within the appeal period. Whether I can come? No, I have already clarified to you. If you are within appeal period, you are not eligible for the scheme. Okay. Now you have also said saying that in case it is collected and not paid, that is 11D of Central Excise Act or 70A of Finance Act for services. So you said saying that there is a disparity, meaning if you have collected, not paid, if show cause notice issued prior to 30th June, I can apply under the scheme. That fellow will get a benefit of 40 to 70% relief. But the same issue, if that fellow makes a voluntary disclosure, he is meant to pay full. What Sri Bimal Jain is saying that there is a disparity. Let me just tell you one situation. In fact, this kind of schemes are not, there is a section of people within some particular ruling party who oppose this, saying that actually the scheme itself should not be brought because it is moral hazard. For the taxpayer who has come forward, on time he has paid taxes, you are not given any benefit. For the taxpayer who has evaded, kept waiting for 5 years, then he came under this, you are given benefit. On that moral ground itself, it was argued. I am telling you inside story. In fact, every 5 years the government is coming. 2013 VCS, Voluntary Compliance Encourage Scheme. 2019, within 6 years, I have come again with SPLDRS. So, a view may be taken by some section of the people that I do not pay my taxes, I wait for such scheme to come after 5 years, then I get the benefit of that scheme and go. Yes, that kind of moral risk is there. Moral differentiation is there. In fact, why I am telling all this is, there was an argument saying that, in fact, this kind of people should not be allowed. You remember the exclusion, 6 categories. 7th category should have been those people that who have collected and not paid. Collected means it's not your money, no. It's government money, but you are not paid. Why should I give you the benefit to you, even if show cause notice is given? Show cause notice was given prior to 30th June. Today, as on date, you can come under the scheme. So there was a section of the people who have argued to us saying that these people should be kept away from the scheme. That would have been a right step. Meaning that because why you have collected the money, somebody's money, I am giving you benefit to keep 30% out of it. 70% I am only asking, 70% I am giving benefit to 30%. That's not correct actually. So, under voluntary scheme, if they come, which I have not detected, you have to pay 100%. So we will take a call. That's a good session Mr. Bimal has made. Either we keep those people completely out of the scheme, so that they have to completely pay with tax along with interest penalty, because he kept that government money with him. In fact, under service tax, very well the service tax collected not paid if it's more than 2 crores. If you have kept more than for 6 months, you can be arrested. In fact, we have done like that many cases. There was one particular airline that airline was launched at Vijayawada. For 2 years it ran good or bad, then they closed that airline. So when the airline tickets, they have collected service tax from other passengers. Unfortunately, that company did not pay. The department went ahead issuing show cause notice, and at one stage it said that you collected not paid, you kept the money more fat, and then there was an attempt even to arrest them also. So that kind of punitive, that kind of offence it is a serious offence, that collecting not paid. So your suggestion is welcome, sir. Please make that suggestion that they should be kept away rather than arguing saying that voluntary disclosure, why don't you give the benefit? Let's not encourage them. I mean, a view may be taken through. This was debated. I was part of the debate. We welcome to you for this kind of view. PH I have clarified to you. You have mentioned saying that PH was conducted for January. So no PH is inconclusive, excepting for those people like High Court and Supreme Court. They very clearly say, in our FAQ circular also we made very clear, if it is shown as reserved, meaning PH is over, because High Courts and Sessions are big people. I mean, we don't even come to know whether this is the final PH or we want to offer many PH. So they show on their website as reserved, meaning PH is over, order is reserved. So that kind of very clear-cut definition is coming as far as High Court, Supreme Court is concerned, and sometimes Sestat. Sometimes Sestat and many times Commission Appeal, clear-cut vision may not come about final hearing is done. Believe me, it is only artificially being depicted. Otherwise, Commissioner Appeal also will not give you more than one PH. Who is bothered? I mean, so many cases in front of him. You will say for every case he will give you three PHs. Nobody is going to give you. I mean, one PH, matter gets over. If anything is there in the PH, something more to be submitted, I used to recall saying that no further PH, you must submit the document. Only if you ask for me on the PH, I give you. Otherwise, I don't give you. So I think, sir, I agree. There is a loose definition as you are claiming, but it's not as loose as being projected. The order, the particular case-wise, if you see, it's very clear that finally in go or not. Fine, sir. Next one, you are talking about SLP pending on 36, dismissed after 17. If losing out, I can come to the case. Yes, you can come. And then the benefit is given. I'm giving you both sides. We are giving you benefit. You try your luck in the appellate authority. If you are not satisfied, you can come back. Next you said saying that the information that you have declared to you under voluntary disclosure, will it be shared with other departments? I want you to say which other department you are asking. Be very clear. Anyway, generally it doesn't share unless otherwise the other department asks for it. You are talking about other department. That other department comes and asks saying that we would like to have specific information about this particular declarant, because we have already rated that him in the direct taxes and we are asking for some more information. This department does not have any choice, because under the Income Tax Act, under a particular section, if they ask for information but don't give, I am punishable under the Act. So, excepting those cases where they make cases, then come forward 360-degree investigation, department does not have any choice. But we ourselves do not share openly, saying that by this fellow made a voluntary declaration, you take this and investigate. No. That's why I said Sabka Vishwas. There is no question of not having this. And believe us. In BCS, in many other cases, we have never shared till now with that information with any department. Never shared. I know that. We never shared that. Next is saying that there is no sunset clause here. Sunset clause is built in, wherein they say that up to 31st December you can make the application. Beyond that, we will only keep giving you Form 2, Form 3, Form 4 for making application 31st December. But for me to give you Form 2, especially with respect to Rule 8 that I read out for you, where you are not able to get a proof of withdrawal, in case that case may prolong for years and years, it may continue. Similarly, you said saying that voluntary disclosure shield cases are pending. Voluntary disclosure cases are pending in Sestat even today. Yes, you see, it's true. Voluntary cases, disputes are pending there. So, if you apply for voluntary disclosure, again you can't come under the scheme. It's good that you make a session. We'll clarify that, saying that if you already availed benefit of ACS, if it is pending under anything, you are not eligible for this. That will clarify to that. That's the reason we said if you have made an application with Settlement Commission, you are not welcome. And we will also plug that hole, saying that if you get an order of Settlement Commission, on the basis of order whether I can come. You mentioned in your booklet, I quickly ran through that. So that also I feel should not be allowed. I'll make a conclusion. No, I am not saying, as I did, apparent reading of it, whether it allows or not, I do not know. Maybe literal meaning, maybe allowing. We'll take a call on that. This much I can clarify with the approval of competent authority that voluntary scheme to voluntary scheme, you can't jump. Then I think I have covered your issues. I mean, lot of the issues I have covered. If any other queries are there, two channels, either by you who are sitting here or by any person who is on the online or Facebook, will be able to.
Sir, I will request you can come down
Yeah,
here,
sure.
and then I will take it further. Maybe for 10-15 minutes more. Give him a big round of applause for making it excellent presentation. First of all, since this program is happening pan-India, this is the e-booklet and free booklet on Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme. Those who are participating here, they have got the copy, digital copy, but this is e-downloadable, available on my Facebook page and even on a2jtaxclub.com. We'll make this booklet available on other medium as well. This is free book comprising of total overall Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme. I got appreciation for this book from none other than Legion from Tax Department, Rahman sir. We'll try to create some more FAQs and over a period of time we'll add certain things further. Request that my cameraman to showcase this particular booklet available, free ebook on Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme available for anyone from anywhere in India, across the world. Now, coming to the question which we got through webinar, sir, I'm just raising those queries you can answer. One person is asking that order in original has been issued in June 2019 and appeal was filed in September 2019. Order in original is within appealable period as on 30th June 2019. Can we declare under Sabka Vishwas?
Yes, within appeal period, this comes from Babulu. At the one at the rate of gmail.com. Sorry, we have already clarified to you that if it is within appeal period, it is not allowed because it is not a confirmed areas as we are saying. Order has not attained finality. Here I am clarifying, even if you have decided not to go in appeal also, whether you have decided to go in appeal or not, I am not concerned. From the order date, you have 60 days or 90 days depending upon the appellate authority to go in appeal or not. If you are within that period, you are not eligible for the scheme.
Another question which is
As on 30th June. As on 30th June, if you are within the appeal period, no.
another question which is being asked, if the last date to avail SBL DRS 2019 is 31st December, it's extended. He's assuming it's extended. Then what will be issued? Notification or removal of difficulties order? This is what he does.
Mr. Shivam Rai Chaudhary. 4 months have been given for it to make an application from September. Why are you thinking of extending it? See, they're saying that, the early birds, concept of early bird. Basically, it is being offered to you to relieve your headache, to relieve your burden. Big companies, multinational companies do not want to show in their balance sheet the litigated amount. Am I correct? All of you must be doing very well. So, it gives you a lot of benefit for them to get rid of this before 31st December, so that the next financial statement that they make is clean one, which has a lot of credit point. So, as on date, believe me, there is no question of extending it because the process takes 3 months. Why kept 31st December is that before 31st March, you will be paying through Form 3. If at all it takes the maximum period, then the revenue will come to the government and at least the financial year ending, your dispute is resolved. So as on date, I'm sorry, there is no question of extending this. And my advice will be, in fact, Mr. Bimal Jain also advised, the early for you better. Yes. And as he has mentioned, it is a case by case for them also, for consultant. Every SQLDRS is also a case. Even though he is told in one case that show cause notice, I am not going to give a reply, please come under this. I mean, maybe it will not appear as a show cause notice case for you as a consultant, but it will appear as a SQLDRS case. So thousands of SQLDRS cases are going to come to consultant.
Let me clarify.
Issue comes in this regard is, see, at this particular time when this scheme is there, the liquidity situation is worst. Already today also I think 2 lakh crore has been eroded in the stock market. This is the situation where the liquidity is a problem, and in case we expect the money at this point of time, where the government is coming with the scheme of giving 20,000 crore more for the exports and all this, They are giving 750,000 crore more to the industry from their side. At this time, taking the money, I think is a very it's not there. So what my suggestion is, if, okay, I agree the scheme cannot be extended, but if you kindly give the installment to the payments, I think this may give some. But this is very, at this point of time, the situation is very, very bad. Sir.
So you are making a request that the amount is to be paid in installments.
It is possible.
But your discharge certificate will come only after your final
No
installment.
issue. See, I can file the application by 31st December 2019. But I should be allowed to make the payment in 3 installment, 4 installment, whatever, so that it will become easy. Otherwise, I find at this particular time is a very bad situation in the industry, and that's where the cash flow is concerned.
No, if we have good intention, what you are saying is also correct. You kindly make a representation to the government, but your final installment shall be paid prior to certain period. It cannot be open-ended. What you are saying that okay, if suppose you want to make an application because of bad liquidity, I am not giving you offhand my initiation to you, but you are better thinker than me. You can say saying that yes, I may be allowed to make installment, provided that I make an application before October, the early bird, provided also that my final installments will not be beyond 31st March.
Absolutely, that's
With
whatever
these two
some
elements,
payout should be there.
I will be happy. I mean, this kind of installment provision, if it's made available to you, will be only to the early birds. Let us say September, October 1, so that you are making yourself committed.
That again, this can be a good one.
You can also say that my last
okay, I give you the installment, otherwise not.
You make a session. Content or
Definitely.
I'm making a note of that, but
Yeah,
still,
that's
it will be with some end conditions.
Yeah.
The next question which is being asked, this question is, what will happen if we wrongly select category, whether it is rejected or not, and in case if it is rejected, then can client file once again SBL DRS1?
It's good that you asked me this question. This is Vishgar CS. It's good that you asked this question. If you are filed under wrong category of any one of those 4, nothing wrong. The officer will give a PH to you and saying that you are under wrong category, your application is rejected. There is no online rejection of application. Offline order will give it to you. No penalty, no penal action against you. You can realize that I have made under wrong application, I will make another application under right category. N number of times you can keep applying also. Officers will have full patience for you. Suppose you apply one category, I told you rejection. Extreme case I am telling you. There are some people like again he makes an application in the same category. Again I reject. Again he makes, again I reject. Yes, you can. Then once you realize that you are under wrong, you should make a correct application, then you get the benefit. I am very sure you will not waste your time and any other person's time for making the wrong application. There is nothing wrong. N number of applications you can make on the same issue after rejection.
The next question which is coming, if so-called notice is for appropriation of duty already paid, but also interest. Now what happened? This so-called notice being issued for duty and interest, and duty to be appropriated. Now it is only open for the interest amount. Is he eligible?
Yeah. Now here, I have seen 10 number of showcase notices. This category number 1 showcase notice which says saying that the why an amount of let's say X amount, let's say for example 1 crore shall not be demanded by you. In case that party has already paid that amount, the showcase notice itself saying that why that rupee 1 crore that is voluntarily paid by you shall not be adjusted against that, shall not be appropriated. Then it says that why you should not pay interest because that amount is paid after the due date. 4 it will say why equivalent penalty should not be paid, why other penalty should not. If that is a kind of showcase notice, wherein the showcase notice itself it is proposing to appropriate the amount, that means the tax due to the department is nil. The showcase notice carries to me only the interest and penalty, as I have already clarified to you, as on date to my understanding. To my understanding, you are not eligible for this scheme. If the showcase notice says that, why an amount should not be demanded from you, it does not make a mention of appropriation. If the ordering original says, suppose later an ordering original says, saying that showcase notice demanded 1 crore, the party has voluntarily paid this amount, the party has paid so much amount, hence it is appropriated against it. So balance amount is this. So that kind of audit original comes, it's a difference. It says saying that by appropriated amount is appropriate later. But here the question is pertaining to show cause notice appropriating. Show cause notice is already appropriated. The amount due under tax is nil and similar matters.
Next person is asking how to apply for SDL DRS in case of investigation where 80% of total duty payable is quantified before 30th June 2019. Balance 20% duty is quantified in August 2019. So, might be he's asking, can he go for this SBL DRS one to the extent of 80% which has been quantified, or he has to read in totality?
What you are talking about 80% is that on one issue it is not that 80% is quantified, 20% is not quantified. What I am reading, trying to understand, maybe there are around 10 issues, out of that 8 issues they have quantified and given, am I correct?
Yes.
And let's say 2 issues they have not quantified. So you will apply for the scheme only on the quantified amount only. For the 8 issues quantified you will apply. For the 2 issues that are not quantified prior to 30th June, you may not be able to.
Next question, sir, if so-called notice is issued to party without considering the past payment, tax paid in the return ST3, also benefit of RCM not given while preparing the so-called notice, can the SSE opt for the scheme after reducing the tax liability of so-called notice by the tax paid before so-called notice date, and also after reducing the liability of so-called notice by giving the benefit of RCM?
This, according to you, what I understand, the show cause notice is not quantified the amount properly in his own understanding. Meaning the show cause notice, while quantifying, has not taken the amounts that he has already paid and the amounts of benefit of RCM that is supposed to have been with him, which he is not supposed to pay. I agree with you. The show cause notice, according to you, might not have quantified the amount, but on paper, the show cause notice is pending for a particular amount. So that amount you show as the tax dues, because the tax dues definition as given here is the disputed amount. I mean, I cannot change the definition. In the Finance Act, it is mentioned that, I mean, I need not go, but you know very well, is a disputed amount in the show cause notice. So you have to show the complete amount, even though according to you it is overestimated, it might not have taken all the. Then you show what all you have paid as a pre-deposit. Even though I do not have any authority, even though the present definition of pre-deposit says that it is a pre-deposit when you go in appeal, or it is a pre-deposit you have done during the phase of investigation, etc. So you claim nothing wrong. You say saying the show cause notice estimated this much, it has not taken these things which you have already paid, you show that as a pre-deposit. It is again, I am saying, up to the designated committee officers to, in their wisdom, they will pass an order. According to me, offhand reading is that any officer of, good officers are there all over India, all officers will pass an order considering the amount that you have paid. They will go for the correct quantification of show cause notice. They will not go. In fact, I will tell you another example at this stage. During our time during service taxation, we used to get third-party information. That is from income tax department. Many times we write a letter to saying that so and so income tax department third-party thing has come. This is your total income, but you have not paid service tax on this. Please clarify that out of the total income, how much is the income on account of the services, so that we can really quantify. Parties don't respond. 1 time, 2 time, 3 time later, don't respond. Then we give you a show cause notice to you saying that because time is getting over. You have to understand our plate also, no? Time is getting over, limitation period will come. Then we issue show cause notice saying that on this total amount you place service tax. But when the parties come with evidences during PS written reply at the tender, the amount is obviously reduced and what is the correct amount is confirmed. Similar manner here. You can say saying the show cause notice is for this. Whatever I have paid is you can show it as a pre-deposit and claim. I am not giving you any in writing saying that they will consider that amount, but officers will do consider that amount and pass it.
That's the proof to the
Let me take 1 or 2 questions because we are running short of time now. In one case, he said, my case was adjudicated before 30th June. Case got adjudicated before 30th June and order has received after 30th June in favor of the department. Can I go for this scheme?
In favor of department means he has confirmed. But our question is that before 30th June, order should have been received by you. If he has passed order before 30th June, you are received after 1/7, we can't help you. order should have been received. Here, everything is that received by you. Even the show cause notice received by you, written communication for audit received by you, quantified amount that particular letter or communication is received by you. The date of receipt of that should be 30 years old. Either electronically or by
In this case also, the hearing is already taken place. Which means order is not been received, but hearing has been taken. Final hearing has been taken. Then again, I am not eligible.
order should have been received by you.
Now coming to the next question, I have paid all tax dues and service tax. I have filed return late, paid taxes late, but not paid interest for late payment and penalty for late filing of return. Can I be eligible for applied SBL DRS?
You have paid return, you have paid taxes late. I just clarified to you one of the slides, if you remember, that if it is that return you have paid the tax not on the due date but later, but no tax is pending as on 30th June. You have already paid the tax amount. Now what is pending as on 30th June is only the interest and the late fee or penalty payment. Those cases are not. It comes as a package. You have to still use interest. I mean, some people actually may argue other way around, saying that, look, sir, I am a very genuine fellow. I paid the tax amount. What I have to pay is only interest and penalty. Why are you not inviting me? Whereas you are inviting, one person who is yet to pay even tax. Yes, but that is what the government has found out. Tax plus package, interest and penalty. You are welcome.
Okay, let me take one more question from online, then we will open the floor if you're having any doubt, but I'm sure by so many questions and he has answered, even if left out, we'll take 2-3 questions from the audience as well. His question is, later received from service tax audit on 9th January 2017. Afterwards, audit for the period from 2011-12 to 15-16 and personal hearing conducted on 20th March 2017, SSC request for oral so-cause notice and waiver of written so-cause notice. After hearing the oral so-cause notice, SSC paid the voluntary tax, interest and penalty and submitted the intimation of payment with challan. Therefore, no correspondence received from the department can be eligible for SBL DRS.
What I'm saying is you have paid the entire amount. Why do you want to come to the scheme again? Because you are not going to get refund here. You please approach to whichever department that you have paid, jurisdiction officer, for getting your case closed. Because there are certain things which can be closed without show cause notice also, if you come voluntarily. The demote you have been adjudicated, they will write there. So that kind of no-shit orders you should ask for rather than coming under the scheme. My advice is that, of course, I am not here to give you any consultancy, but at least to that extent, I will say you need not come to the scheme.
Maybe 1 or 2 questions from the audience. Yes, please. Give the mic to him.
Good evening, sir. My question to Mr. Rahman is, sir, my audit commenced prior to 30th June, but the duty demand has not been quantified. In fact, it has been recently quantified. In that situation, am I eligible for the scheme?
I think I've answered this saying that in audit, investigation, this thing, what is expected is that quantified amount is written communication given to you. However, as far as investigation is concerned, I am not giving you any flexibility. But as far as audit is concerned, because the definition of audit says that commencement of audit only, so you may make an attempt by saying that they are not quantified, but this is the amount, you may make an attempt. It is likely that it may be considered by the designated government.
Yeah. Who else from the audience? Yes. Give the mic here.
Good evening, sir. My name is Prerna from CA Club India. I have a question. Bimal sir, correct me if I'm wrong. There is a point that you said, if a person collects the tax but does not deposit it, and there are 2 cases in it. I was liable to collect tax, I collected it and did not deposit. And the other cases where I was not liable to collect tax, I fraudulently collect tax, and now the department tells me that you need to deposit it. In this case, how is this person eligible for the scheme? Because he was not eligible to collect the tax in the first place. So there are no tax dues. this is a fraudulent something that we have collected. So how does he become eligible for the scheme?
Meaning, do you want to talk about voluntary scheme or do you want to talk about show cause notice scheme? Which category?
In either of the category, if there was a show cause notice issued, he was not eligible. He was not supposed to collect the tax. So there was no tax dues.
So the answer is different. In case show cause notice is already issued to him, the show cause notice itself alleges that this particular tax you are not supposed to collect.
Right.
However, you are collected. Not only collecting, you are not deposited apart from collecting. Well, two offences you have done. One for not collecting when it was not due, but however, again second offence is that not deposited. Finally, that's the show cause notice payment.
Right.
As far as the scheme as on date is concerned, unless we make a representation, get them excluded, Bimal Jain, before that you tell that person to immediately make an application because the show cause notice is issued and received by him before 30th June, he is eligible as a scheme.
He is eligible.
He is
As per provision eligible.
as long as any kind of show, I am telling you here, please understand the gravest offence, such as clandestine removal in central excise. Gravest offence like you, what you are saying is one, I should not have collected, but I have collected.
Right.
Not only not collected but not paid. Even those are eligible as on date. As long as you get the 30th June show cause notice to you. That's one. If it is a voluntary disclosure, suppose department did not know that you are not supposed to collect, but you are collected, not only collecting, you are not paid, you can still come under voluntary disclosure as on date. But then you will have to end up paying 100%, that's what you are saying. There is a disparity in this. In both ways, you are eligible as on date unless the government puts it forward and say that no, these people are excluded. General tendency of the government as on date, I can sense and tell you. We are not interested in giving any exclusion. We are only interested in giving the inclusions. We would like to invite more and more people to come to the scheme rather than stopping people to come to the scheme.
Okay, so we are not having enough time. Requesting my co-chair to have concluding remarks and vote of thanks.